WTF, welcome to Funkatopia. It is the pre-show. I am your host, Mr. Christopher. This is Jeff Page.
Hey. Hey, this time I didn't feel like going.
But that's your calling card, man. So now you're not
casting out.
Welcome to 2024. Our first broadcast of the year, which is kind of nuts, but this is actually the pre-show. For those just joining us, we're here about 7 minutes early because we like to come in here and say hello to everybody. I see that Andre has kind of been in here for like a lot. He was here at like 10 o'clock this morning, which I have no idea what that's about. But he was here at 10 o'clock this morning, and it was just kind of, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Yeah, Peggy from Connecticut, what's going on there? Purple Nerd Channel is on, is in here as well. Krista as well. Greg Brown from snowy Milwaukee. Man,
wow.
Man. Cammy, welcome. I'm glad you're doing well.
Yes,
you can continue some of the hellos while I take a sip.
Yeah, good. There we go. Hey, Lisa, what's Revolution 86? What's up? Good to see you, Krista. As always, we're glad to see you.
Deb in Colorado. Yep. All you fine folks. And on top of that, I actually did go ahead and start the radio show because on the actual app because I would forget. And this is a pre-show. Tonight we're going to be doing something really, really special that we do every year. I've been doing that since 2011, but put it on the website Funkatopia.com since 2014. I lost like 3 or 4 previous ones, but I've been doing a top 20 best funk albums list every year since 2014 on Funkatopia.com. And this is actually, this is the 9th year, even though we're in 2024. You would think it's 10. It's not. The one that would be next year will be the 10-year anniversary of that. But it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to have a good time going over the 20 best funk albums of 2023, looking back on the previous year. And then on top of that, we also got 5 bonuses. Plus, on top of that, we also got a little bit of purple news for you. And because we have a lot to make up for. We haven't been live in 3 weeks. So,
it's just,
it is what it is. Revolution 86 wants to know, where did I get the shirt? People always ask me where I get the shirt. This is actually the Dirty Mind shirt, and it actually does say Dirty Mind on the back. And I should. And they sell it at the store.prince.com or store.prince.org, I guess. But they sold out of this size, and luckily Ben Petrick happened to have an extra one. He was like, I'll sell you mine. I don't care. I was like, all right.
Okay. Why not? So
I'm down.
Lady K, you really like it on the media formerly known as Twitter? It works.
Yeah. So this is different. Yeah, this is different. This is the first time we've broadcast to X. We've never done this before. We've done Mixcloud before. We've done Twitch before. Never really has been a whole bunch of, but it's definitely interesting to be on X right now. And twitter.com/Funkatopia. We are there.
Proud of that. We're proud of it.
Yeah, it is. It is breaking out whenever we talk. So whenever I hear a sound effect, I'll just have to just not talk. But yeah, so this is the first time on X, so we're really, really cool to be. It's not the first time I've said that. The first time on X.
That's just it's weird to sound to say. Many Moons, what's happening? How's it going, Aaron? Good. Happy. Binky Womack, what's up? There we go.
I feel like I'm like getting worse as far as like being sophomoric and the things I'm laughing at now. I was laying in bed the other night just kind of watching TV and everybody's asleep, and that stuff, not Ozempic, but it's semaglutide or semaglutide or however they pronounce it. That's the diabetic shot that you can give that a lot of people are taking now because it's for weight loss or whatever.
Right.
And there's this company named Roe that's also has semaglutide, and they have this commercial on, and I don't know if they don't have an editor or what it is. But they played this clip, and I was like, it was late. Not like late, but it was like 11 o'clock at night, and everybody's asleep except for me. And this commercial came on, and I saw this clip, and I laughed out loud, and I said, certainly somebody had to have like listened to it over the editing and said, we might want to change that, but this is 5 seconds of that, something that had me laughing out loud. Listen.
I'm not quite sure how something that's just a little tiny prick can be so powerful in so many different ways.
Really? Editing didn't catch that?
Like they were all like, yeah, that's gotta be fine.
What?
Something real to me. That's what somebody said. Oh, somebody's story.
No, Elena, it's Arlana, it's semaglutide, SEMA glutide. And some people, I've heard it pronounced semaglutide and then semaglutide. I've heard it pronounced.
Saying it's not true for everybody.
Yow, you out your head. Lame brain.
All right. All right, so I'm hearing an echo of myself.
Are you?
Yeah, a little bit. It's okay. Maybe we'll see if it's ending up being a problem. But anyways, again, this is the pre-show. We're going to go ahead and bring ourselves down out of the mix. We just wanted to make sure that we said hello to everybody, and we will bring it down, and we're going to come back, and we're going to do the best funk of 2023. And then following that, we'll do the news. We know everybody wants to talk about the Purple Rain musical that's going to be happening. Just a bunch of insanity that is apparently happening. And it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how this all pans out. But hey, it's going to be perfectly all right. We're going to be okay. All right. So for right now, let's go ahead and do the best funk of 2023. Give us about 10 seconds, and we're going to do the intro again. And we're going to start the show officially since it's the 8 o'clock hour. So give us a minute, and we'll be right back. WTF, welcome to Funkatopia. I am your host, Mr. Christopher, and this is my co-host, Jeff Page.
I gotta get it all out now.
Okay, so there you have it.
2024, everybody. We made it. We made it.
Yeah, it is 2024, our first broadcast of the year, and we're glad to be back. Got a little bit of a rest, a little bit of a mental health break, and man, I had to break it up really quick with the best funk list of 2023, where we kind of cover the 20 best albums of 2023 funk in the funk realm, obviously. I'm still getting that echo, Jeff. It's kind of sounding a little...
It's weird. It's nothing on this side. I don't see it. I don't
know. Oh, now it's gone. Nope, no, it's not. Hold on a second. Let me see if it stops over here. Just a second. Hold on. Check. 1, 2. Yep, it's definitely somewhere on your side because I just muted you and it's gone.
All lies. All lies.
Well, you hear it too? You hear the echo? Okay. As long as everybody hears the echo, it's not. I know I'm not crazy.
Well, there's love.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. You're echoing too, by the way.
Awesome.
We'll try to figure it out sooner or later. We'll try to figure it out. That's all good. Some people can hear it. Some people say they're not hearing it. It's all right. Let's not worry about that for right now. It is the broadcast that we do at least once every year. We try to be doing it since 2014, and basically what we've been doing is we cover the 20 best funk albums of the previous year. And what's really, really cool is that it takes a lot, because I get submissions all throughout the entire year of from all over, unsigned, signed. It doesn't really matter if it's out there. We will actually, I'll listen to it. It doesn't. You don't have to be signed. If you have something that's some semblance of a collection of music, we're going to take a listen to it and we're going to check it out. This year was very, very difficult, so we're going to cover the 2023 best ones. And what's kind of tricky is, this is actually a little bit of a brief look at some of the albums that we're going to be talking about here. We're going to talk about all of them really, really quickly, briefly. And we're going to go over each individual one, just to kind of briefly talk about them and kind of give you an idea of where you should probably spend some of your money, because we're also going to give you Amazon. Yes, Elena, I see it is gone now. Because what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about the album, and then I'm going to be playing you a clip from a select song from the album, so you can kind of get a little bit of an idea of what you can expect. Something that was a good representation of everything that was on the album, style wise. Obviously, if it has like a New Orleans sound, I'm going to play you a track that's going to be more, definitely more Mardi Gras sounding. So that's kind of what we're shooting for. And what's kind of made it a little bit difficult is that it was a challenging year for funk albums. I mean, it just took on many, many different faces as far as funk is concerned. There was a lot more electronic touches, and a lot of bands really kind of, even the bands that you expected to kind of stay that funk route, like bands like Lettuce, they really kind of they really deviated from the path. And it was just kind of, it was really different.
A lot of bands, they had more rock feel to them. They had more electronic music to them. Just the sound was really expanding. Even very jazzy, some even more blues like. It was just like all over the place, but it still had that bottom end funk element. And so but it was really tough, some of those.
And there was a good selection of bands that really. Now, normally when you think funk, you immediately go, many people, a majority of people will automatically go to the Parliament Funkadelic sound. That is like an automatic out of the gate. If you hear a sound or band that sounds like that, you immediately categorize it as funk. And surprisingly enough, there were a few bands that kind of maintain that sound. And we're going to be talking about them in this mix, because again, tonight we have 20 albums that I'm going to be briefly talking about and playing you a little clip of, and on top of that, 5 bonuses. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you guys tune in. And what we'll also be doing is also share an Amazon link, so that if you want to purchase the album, you can actually do that. It will be in the chat area. Right now, currently, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, we are on Twitch, and we are also on Twitter, or AKA X. So we are on all of those right now. I don't know how, I don't think the chat thing works with X. I don't think that really has a functionality of that. I don't know if it does or not. But we're going to be putting the Amazon links up there. But if you miss any of this, it's okay, because we're going to post all of it at Funkatopia.com as soon as this broadcast is over. That's Funkatopia.com. We'll be posting it. All the bands that you saw, plus on top of that, the little brief read-ups, links to the band's website, links to the Amazon link where you can actually buy it, and of course the little embedded window where you can play the entire album right there from Spotify. So let's go ahead and get to it, because we got a lot to cover, and we've already spent a lot of time kind of going through the whole process. So let's start with our first band, shall we? The first band in the list is the band The Motet, with their album.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I think we should do something. What's this one? Yeah, there you go. Sure, why not?
Wait, can I just do that?
What was that? I didn't know what that was. Yeah, so The Motet, all day. They've actually been on the list before. Matter of fact, many years ago, and I've had Dave Watts on the show before, but the Motet is a band to be reckoned with for sure. They have been around the block for a very long time. They in the past they've had lots of great singers. They've had Jans Ingber on the Lyle Davinsky. Now they've actually got a female vocalist named Sarah Clark who's singing with them, and this is their 10th album called All Day. But what's interesting is with this particular album, they went all instrumental, which I thought was a little bit unusual because, I think it was between when Lyle Davinsky left and when Sarah Clark, I think that there was like a huge writing session that went there, right? Because I know that Dave really likes the instrumental, and I think they kind of went back to their core base. I don't really know the entire story there, but there was a quote from Joey Porter, who plays keyboards with his band, and he says the album All Day is something I say when I like something so much I could do it all day, and playing music, definitely it's there. Instrumental music has been a staple of the Motet repertoire since the conception of the band, especially live. Individually, instrumental music has been the majority of what we have all played in our careers, so it's natural for us to have an instrumental album. I'm also excited that there were songs written by every member of the band, so that's really cool. That there's that functionality of as well. So I am actually going to play. I'm going to play the opening track called Backseat, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this without sharing the tab. So maybe we should just, maybe I should just share the tab. That's probably going to be the easiest thing, so that way you can make absolute positive sure that we have the entire. So everything's here, the audio and everything. So this is the album All Day. Here's a little clip called Backseat. Now let me go ahead and also pre-warn as well. Facebook has a really big problem with us playing music that is copyrighted. So there could possibly be a situation where you get kicked off of Facebook if it hears too much copyrighted music. So I may bounce around a little bit, but on the same note, if you do get kicked off, just go over to YouTube, youtube.com/Funkatopia. If you want to continue watching it loud, just have it going on in a separate tab. Just so if you get kicked off of Facebook, or if you can no longer do the chat area, just hop over to YouTube or Mixcloud or X and check it out there. Right. All right, here's a little clip of Backseat. This is the opening track for All Day, and hopefully this will work as good as I think it will. No, just don't worry about it. Just close. Just play it. Oh, it's making me log in. Are you serious right now? I probably should have done this like at the very beginning, but that is what it is. Okay,
I may be able to do it. Give me a second.
Yeah, I can actually do this too. So let's go
play all day, right?
You got all day. I should have made sure I was logged in right out of the gate.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's kind of going in and out. So let's just that's
okay.
Yeah, it's cool enough. Kind of gives you an idea. And I don't know how, what way you're actually playing it on the one, but that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea. The I don't know how everybody could hear that in the audio, but we're gonna make it was a little bit messed up. I should have made sure that I was logged on here. Hold on just a second. Let me make sure.
We didn't test it ahead of time, so
well, I thought we were already logged in, so that was my bad on that. So this is really kind of how things fall apart. And when you have a show that's kind of going, as crazy as this,
right.
and it is this,
Hey,
yeah.
Despite all the surprises, This is the beginning of 2024. So we're going to make this the best year ever anyways. So it's awesome to start like this. My whole beginning of this month has been nothing but things
Surprising.
falling apart, and it's been awesome. So we're good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not horrible.
No,
Now I'm just trying to figure out exactly what's going on and why Spotify's not letting me log in at all. So I'm gonna open up the app, and maybe this will actually give me a little bit of anyways. So that was the Motet, and we're gonna try our best to kind of get to the bottom of what's exactly going on here. So, oh my gosh. All right, talk about something while I try to figure out exactly why all of a sudden I can't log on to Spotify, because I was just listening to it just earlier today. I don't know what's happening here.
good, because what I want to do is I want to make sure that everyone who went through 23 to 24 is blessed this year. I did want to say that. For those, we did that. We ended last year with the show about going through stuff and in depression and all that stuff. And here we are in 2024, and people are still feeling what they feel. And I just want to say that for 2024, let's all be strong together. I think we need to start this year off just right, with everybody solid, with people feeling what they feel. And anyone who's going through stuff, don't be afraid to talk to somebody, because we're going to make this year the best year than all the years we've had in the past, no matter how great any year has been. And then it's up from there. So
yeah, I think this year's obviously been tough for a lot of folks, and we've kind of been going. And I've just set myself a password reset, but it's not sending it to me. What is happening here? This is insane. Okay, this is not fun at all.
Okay, so in that case, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go here.
We need to share like a tab. Yeah, because I think whichever way you were doing it with the audio wasn't like fantastic. So we want to make sure that we are exactly where we need to be.
I'm gonna see if it'll let me, because it wasn't letting me do it earlier.
This is just really unusual. This is horrible that this is happening right now. It's unbelievable.
Hey, we'll start over. And I don't have dual monitors anymore. That's the monitor died.
Oh God, are you serious? That's not great.
Yeah.
So this is not exactly how this is supposed to go. This is absolutely the worst possible thing that could happen right now. Well, not the worst possible thing that could happen. I think we could probably catch fire. That might be one way. It might be one thing that may be horrible. I would think that would be a bad thing.
I think I can pull this audio in.
Okay, so we will talk through it until we get to this point. I don't understand what is happening here. This is the weirdest thing that's ever happened on the show. Not the weirdest thing, but it's right up there, because literally I was just logged in and I was listening to tracks, and then it decided that it didn't like me.
Yeah, exactly. So check your junk mail. Make sure it didn't just go there.
That's what I'm looking for right now. This is crazy. All right. Let's just see what we can do here. All right. So let's talk for a second about some news, and then we'll get right back to this thing here, because I got to figure out exactly what's happening with this whole process, and everything just kind of went haywire. And not a fan.
Let's start the news with, we are at 57,000 followers for 2024.
Yes.
So true. By the end of 2024, we'd like to be at 67. Let's keep it moving that way. Keep it going.
No, my goal, I actually set the goal very, very high. I'm actually the goal that I set for myself was
you want 100?
Is 100,000. That's the goal that I set for myself before the end of 2024. So that's the whole goal, and that's definitely what I'm shooting for. And I'm not sure that it's going to actually go that way, because it takes a lot of work, because there's a lot of extra steps that you have to go through to kind of you have to be very, very active. And while I'm still looking here for this and trying to figure out exactly what's going on with why it's not sending me password reset.
Hey, 100,000 is a good goal, man. It's a lofty goal, but I think we can make it. That's not a problem. But take our time.
Well, what's your new Year's resolution?
I don't really do New Year's resolutions. Honestly, I don't do that. I know that January, a lot of people are doing the dry January. Is that the thing that they're doing now? That everyone's trying to get through. I'm doing it like a moist January, a slightly liquidy January, because I'm sorry, I'm not gonna not drink at all for January. But
I could probably do it because I do it anyways. I don't really drink, so it's
that's why it's like it doesn't do anything for me. I'm like, I'll have a drink.
I guess we'll figure out what other people what they're that's fine. All right, I'm just gonna I just signed up with a new account because I have no idea what's friggin' going on. So this is what we're gonna do because we need to get this ball rolling here. Make sure that
resolutions are a lot. And Krista, you're right. Not always, but yeah, when people set resolutions like that, it's very difficult for them to keep it going, especially when they don't have, again, a bunch of people to do it with. And then, all it takes is one to fall out. So there's no easy way to do it. I just continue to live. My resolution is to do better than I did the day before. There it is.
All right, we're good. We're gonna try this again. All right, let's see if we can play this little clip here from All Day and see how this works out, and we'll just take it from there. This is the opening track of All Day from the Motet, Backseat. Let's take a listen, see how this audio is. Yeah. Love it. That's a super funky right there. That's a super funky. How was that's what we're supposed to be right now. That was it right there. That was the Motet All Day, and it's just got some really, really fantastic beats. I'm going to go ahead and move my water over here. I'm going to go ahead and copy this, and if you're interested in checking out the Motet All Day, you already copied and pasted it?
Yeah, I did, but I'm doing it again for everybody.
All right, there you go. So if you want to, it's up there a few times. So if you want to pick that up, there's the Amazon link that will take you right to it. You can also check it out on Spotify. And again, once we go to Funkatopia.com, we will actually have the embedded playlist, so you can actually listen to the entire album, and it's pretty freaking awesome. It's just a really, really great one. All right, so the next album is going to be on the list. Number 2 on the list is the one and only The Rumble, featuring Chief Joseph Boudreau Jr. Very interesting band. I think, they've actually been, there's no Amazon link on this one. You can just go to therumbleband.com/merch and check this out. But basically, The Rumble, featuring Chief Joseph Boudreau Jr., is a Mardi Gras Indian funk ensemble. And of course, as you probably guessed by the name, they're based out of New Orleans, and they represent the Black masking Indian community, which I'm not really familiar with. But if this music is any indication of the musical culture that goes on with that community, I'm in. I'm totally in. And The Rumble is fronted by Grammy-nominated singer Chief Joseph Boudreau Jr., hence the title, who is from the legendary Golden Eagle Indian tribe. And if you guys remember, in 2022, there was a band called Chawa that landed on this list. And this band, The Rumble, actually features 6 of those band members. And together, they have multiple Grammy nominations. And it's really, really cool because they are all over the mix. And I just really, really like the sound. And if you're into the New Orleans sound of of funk, this is definitely one of the bands that you really, really like. We've actually got a couple in here. We've also further down the list, we've also got the New Breed brass band, which was we'll talk about in just a minute, but they actually are fronted by Trombone Shorty. So it's like, obviously you got that New Orleans sound all over. So we're going to play a little bit of a clip of a track from The Rumble called Bow Down. I guess I'm going to share the screen again. I probably should just keep it up and just move it off and on. But this is called Bow Down. Let's check this out. Here's a little bit. Again, if I bounce around, it's because I don't want you guys to get kicked off of Facebook. But check this out. Here it is, The Rumble. Hey! Rumble.
When I open up my suit, it ain't nothing you can do. When I open up my wings, it's gonna make the people scream. When I open up my suit, it ain't nothing you can do. Bow down to a real legend. You bow down to a real legend.
That's a little bit of a clip of that. That is The Rumble. That's a track called Bow Down. And it is absolutely positively a New Orleans vibe. And you can check them out at rumbleband.com/merch. You can actually pick up some of that music there. And again, Funkatopia.com. Once we post this right after the show, you'll be able to go and hear the whole entire albums. Or you can just look it up as you go. If something really, really speaks to you and you got to jump and you go, man, I got to hear that whole entire album right now. I got to go. Then, feel free to do that also. That's perfectly okay.
So you guys know, as soon as we play it, that's when I'll post the link for you. So once we start the song, I post the link and then you can listen and you can click and start looking around their website.
Yep. It is definitely one of these, that New Orleans sound is all over the map. And it's got a very, very distinct sound, a very, very distinct shuffle, lots of horns, always lots of horns, lots of percussion. And I love the New Orleans sound. And it's always great to see. It's always great to see bands, especially bands that have really, really good representation for the Indian community out there in New Orleans. It's just, and they do it so well. They do funk so friggin' well. All right, let's talk about the next one on the list. The next one on the list is a band that goes by the name of the Skunk Mob. Yes.
Who actually is in the chat.
Who is actually in the chat? The Skunk Mob is actually in they're in here. But if, we talked about this earlier, that if you get a really, really specific sound, if you're thinking about a specific sound of funk, normally your head immediately goes to Parliament Funkadelic. If you have to define funk a specific way, it's just, because funk has so many different faces. Obviously, we always talk about Prince all the time, and Prince had tons of funky tracks. But if you pull the average person out of the mix and say, think of funk music, the sound of Parliament Funkadelic is always kind of right there. And with the Skunk Mob, it is, from the deep bass, the fuzz-toned synth that's very Bernie Warell type synth, and that just kind of those off-kilter harmonies. The Skunk Mob is all through it. And they were previously known, in matter of fact, they've been on the list before, but they weren't on the list as the Skunk Mob. They were on the list as the P Union, which P stands for Parliament. And they were on, and so they've been here before. And if you want that sound, that Parliament Funkadelic sound, this is pretty much where you get it. So this band is called the Skunk Mob, and the name of the album is called The Skunk Mob Cometh. And so I'm going to go ahead and share the screen, and let's go ahead and play a little bit of a track for you called Skunking It Up. Check this out right here. That was dirty. That's a bad. Oh my Lord. Just stop. I mean, what is going on? It's just dirty. It's just makes you feel some sort of way.
That immediately gives you the funk face. You can't deny it.
It's just oh, it's just ridiculous. It's just anyways, but that's one of the ones that that's one of the ones that I had mentioned before that, you know, once you hear it, you're just like, okay, yeah, that's all in there.
No question.
And they're actually you can actually find more information on them at theSkunkMob.com, and the is THA. So theSkunkMob.com. You can actually find more information on them. And obviously going also to Spotify. Make sure you get your login. It's going to Spotify. Right. And you can actually check them out as well. But it's just dirty. It's just dirty, grimy funk. It's just great. All right, let's talk about the next band in the mix, and that is a band that's been on the list before, the Poly Rhythmics. Now, what's interesting about the Poly Rhythmics, there is a movement, there is a funk movement that's going on in Seattle, Washington, and I don't know what it is. We'll talk about the other band that's come out of Seattle, Washington in this mix too, but this is one of them called the Poly Rhythmics, and with how they describe their band is OG cinematic psych funk ensemble. And it is like a full-blown instrumental band, and they're really, really big in the underground funk scene that is kind of there in Seattle. And that funk scene really kind of spun off from Jimi Hendrix, because a lot of people aren't aware of this, but Jimmy is from Seattle, they actually have a whole entire Jimi Hendrix museum there in Seattle. The one time I was in Seattle, I happened to go there. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Because you can see like all of his guitars, and he had love letters to Janis Joplin that he had written. And it was like, it's just so much stuff. But because of that sound, because of that growl and that rock and that jam vibe, they really kind of created this mishmash of sounds. Now, this particular album by Poly Rhythmics is actually a follow-up to their album called Man from the Future that was released in 2020. And they have so many really, really great tunes. The track that I am going to play for you is actually a track called Funky Miracle. It's actually the closing track off of this album. So we will actually play this for you, but it is called Funky Miracle. Take a listen to this. Hey, back. Now bounce into a little bit more. More of a vibe. Almost sounds like just an old track from Outlaw.
I don't care what anybody says, man. Straight up Scotch.
It's laid back funk. Yeah, so they're kind of all over the map, but it's that slowed down, just chilling type of funk, and it's very, very different. Maybe I probably should have back to back the Skunk Mob, because there's a very, very different sound, but that was Poly Rhythmics filter system, and they have just they've got a lot of great stuff. Oh man, let me tell you, I can play the Skunk Mob all night. And we will, because we got Funkatopia.com is going to have the entire album. All right, let's talk about the next one. The next one on the list is from the legendary Bernie Warell. Bernie Warell obviously is the keyboardist extraordinaire from Parliament Funkadelic, the Wizard of Woo. And he unfortunately he passed away. It was probably one of my, I've talked about this before, that it was one of my deepest regrets, because I had an opportunity to meet him at the Bear Creek Music Festival in Live Oak, Florida, and we had actually scheduled to do an interview on Funkatopia, and I was very, very bummed out because we were trying to work out the schedule so that I could do the interview, and then unfortunately he passed away in 2016, and so I was devastated because it's the Wizard of Wu. It's like all the iconic funk riffs from Parliament Funkadelic, not all of them, but like so many of them were Bernie was the foundation of it. But one of the things I can tell you about this album is that if that's what you're expecting when you listen to this album, you're not going to get it, because this is more. You remember Funkadelic when the songs like I wanna know if it's good for you, baby. It's like that rock, deep growl type of. It's rock. It's rock with that funk undertone, but it's kind of was like a total disservice to not include Bernie on this mix. But this is a total like rock funk type of thing. But there's 3 different people that are on here. There is Cindy Blackman Santana, who many of you remember, who used to be the drummer for Lenny Kravitz, the girl drummer from Lenny Kravitz, Cindy Blackman Santana, and then also a guitarist that's based out of New York named John King. And it is like, if you remember when Funkadelic would do these jam sessions, and there was just like, it was just madness. It was just this rock raw. That's exactly what it was. And that's exactly what this is. And so you have to kind of look at it in that regard, because that's the style of this album, but it's still funk in that old Funkadelic, the old rock, grungy Funkadelic way. And so let me play you a track from Spherical, which is the name of this album. And this is the opening track called Future Blues. Here is that rock, grungy Funkadelic sound with Bernie Warell at the helm. Here it is. That kind of gives you a little bit of a taste of that. That is Spherical, and it is just that rock funkadelic sound, and just got to listen to it. If that's the style that you're into, remember, we said at the beginning, this funk is just so many different faces of funk. It's really is. It's just all over the map. All right, the next one. You probably recognize her if you're a big Prince and Third Eye Girl fan, or if you just happen to go see him on any various tours. Little girl by the name of Eda Neelson. You remember her from Third Eye Girl. She's also was in NPG. She did a couple of tours with Prince. And of course, as I said already multiple times, she was very iconically known as the bass player for Third Eye Girl. And she's had a couple of albums since Prince's passing, one of which Prince got to hear a few of the songs on here on the previous albums that she's released, but obviously she's more removed from this now. But she is there's plenty of obvious Purple nods all throughout this album. Eda has a very distinct sound. It's that European funk sound that's very, very clean. Not like there's some of the funk over there, like Brand New Heavies and new master sounds and things like that. They all have a very, very different sound. But then there's also this sound from like some of these musicians like Eda, where the recording and the productions are very, very clean. And it just has that sound, but they have some really strange titled songs like Bounce Like a Grandma. I think was one of them. Yeah. So that she had like a bunch of different sounds and
Stoppity bop bop.
Yeah, she was kind of all over the map with a lot of different sounds and things that she was going. But it was just Shake It Off, Slappity Bop Bop. Yeah, right. That was the other one. More People Like You, Bounce Like a Grandma, Bounce Back. So it's just, even just out of the curiosity of it, it's like, I kind of really want to hear what this song sounds like. So it's just, yeah. You ever pick up an album and you look at the titles and you go, I don't know what this band sounds like, but these titles, I'm scratching my head. I really need to know what this sounds like. So let's take a little bit of a clip from the song called Bounce Back. It's off her album called More Sauce, Please. Here it is, Eda Neelson. And this is Bounce Back. That's a little taste of Bounce Back of Eda Neelson's album More Sauce, Please. Yeah, they had Blessing said, I would like to see Eda in concert. Yeah, I've never had an opportunity to see her in concert. Obviously, I got an opportunity to interview her on the show, but I never had an opportunity to, I got a chance to meet her, but I would love to see her play live. I think who was she with? No, it wasn't. It was Donna Grandis that I got an opportunity to see live. Donna Grandis came in and sat in with Shelby J and Liv Warfield at Dakota Jazz Club in Minneapolis. And I remember seeing that one. I've never seen Eda. So yes, I'm with you on that. I would love to see Eda, but she only tours. It's like most of what she tours is overseas. So she's always in Switzerland. She's always in Germany. She's always in that area of the world. And she doesn't really come over here very often. And that's primarily because for some reason, Americans, we don't appreciate funk as much as they do over there.
We're snobby.
Well, it's like bands like Mother's Finest. We talked about this before where, Mother's Finest, they'll play like a 200 seater here and they hope to sell out, but they'll go overseas and Mother's Finest will be selling out stadiums over there. And it's like, what are we not? I don't know. I just don't understand how we just don't have that obsession with funk like they do over there in London and France too. France and Paris specifically has a very huge obsession with funk, and they've got a really big funk movement going on. It's like, man, I really need to go over there and check this out. But that's one of the reasons why we don't get a lot of funk bands touring here, is because they don't make like a whole bunch of money, especially if you're traveling overseas. It just makes sense. But all right, let's go down the list. The next band in the mix is the Mighty Soulmates. Yeah, and listen, I can talk a lot about the Mighty Soulmates because this is actually part two of this was actually part two. And so, which goes to say that there was a part one. And I think the reason why I was upset about the fact that there was a volume two was that I totally missed volume one. For those who don't know who the Mighty Soulmates are, this is actually a huge funk supergroup that you probably never knew that you even needed. But the band features Mick Murphy from The System. You in my system. Mick Murphy from The System, St. Paul Peterson from The Family, Andre Simone, and also Gardner Cole, who plays with Jody Watley and Madonna. So it is a funk supergroup. You got Mick Murphy, who's got an amazing voice from the System, doing vocals, and actually Paul Peterson actually sings a track or two on this album too. And it is volume 1 had a lot. I listened to the volume 1 quite a bit. It had a lot of different really Beatlesque harmonies. I think they were just trying to prove that I don't know what they were trying to prove. I mean, other than they were badass. That's what they're trying to prove. And I think volume 2, from what I remember Mick telling me, because we had Mick on the show, we've had Paul on the show too, but one of the things we've had, what's interesting is that volume 2 was like what was left over from after they picked over volume 1. But you think, man, how is this even possible that, it's just crazy to me that, I don't know. It's just crazy to me. So I was trying to pull this up, and I guess I have to have like a specific session here now. I guess. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can even pull this up. It's because I signed up with a new account, and it logged me out. So let's see what goes. Hopefully we're going to be able to play this. This is ridiculous that it logged me out and it's doing this to me. All right, so I wanted to play the track. I wanted to play the track called Wreck Shop is what I wanted to play. And let's see if I can share this screen for you here. Let's try this. All right, we're going to try to play the song called Wreck Shop. Let's hope this goes well.
I don't hear anything. Is it just me? I'm not hearing anything on my side.
That's a little taste of Wreck Shop from the amazing, that's the amazing Mighty Soulmates. Where there's no sound?
If it was just me, but I couldn't hear anything.
Wow, really? Okay. That kind of sucks. I was just sitting here quietly and I thought everybody was taking it in, but
Head bob and everything.
Yeah, I was doing head bops and everything. All right, let's try this again. Hold on. So let me see if I can play it from here. My bad. Are you guys still not hearing any sound?
Nothing.
Wow, that sucks. All right, maybe we should do. Yeah, you know what we probably should do is we'll just go to let's just go to pull it up on YouTube. I don't know what is going on with this craziness.
Really wild.
Yeah, it's wild because I don't understand what's going on with this whole scenario. It just doesn't make any sense. But okay.
I thought it was just me.
No, it's not just you. It's going to be, and of course, when you don't have YouTube Premium or whatever, you got to sit through some of these. But let's, all right, let's try this. We're going to just do it from YouTube. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to try it from here because Spotify is acting up for whatever reason. So here we go. Wreck Shop. We're just going to play stuff from YouTube. Here we go. This is Wreck Shop. Here's a little bit of taste of that.
A story which contains more than first meets the ear.
Let me flow. All right. gotta let it go all night. Swing it high and swing it low. Bumping the event in the ghetto. All you need is room to get down. Don't you in your ear, give it up and kick it around tonight.
So that's a little taste of a Wreck Shop from you heard it that time, right? This is insane. I cannot believe that it is all right, it is what it is. We'll just accept it.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Just accept the reality of some little strangely difficulties. Now, I don't even know I want to ring this up. The next band that is in the mix is a band that I guess was kind of on the list, off the list, but it was like one of these interesting bands, but it's a band, an artist by the name of Soul. So it's Soul with an A in there, and the album is called Popsicle. Wow. Now, what's interesting about Popsicle, it is, if I had to compare Soul to anybody, I would say Van Hunt is very, very as far as the sound of how he it's just that's the sound to me. And it's because of the fact that I've just loved, especially On the Jungle Floor. That particular album was, it's very, very similar because he just has the same type of vocal quirks that Van Hunt does. Those interesting tones that Van Hunt does, and Sal is very, very similar. When I guess he was doing an interview with Music Box, and he actually refers to the album as manufactured plastic deep fake rock and roll AI generated cookie cutter, like we're on some talent show.
I will say that he definitely goes left when you think he's going right in the music, and that's
yes,
that's not easy for people to do and pull it off.
No, it's not. Sal is really interesting, and it's definitely one of the more interesting albums, and it took me a few listens to kind of really listen to this album and appreciate it for what exactly that he was doing. And I was like, I really got to find a song that people are going to, because you guys are not going to have the opportunity to be able to listen to this album multiple times like I did. So I was like, I really need to find a track on this album that really kind of encapsulates how I just described him. And the best one that I could think of was a track called When She Smiles. And I will play a little clip of this and let you guys check this out. This is Sal from the album Popsicle. The song is called When She Smiles.
Some people don't, some may act like they will, but they won't. 'Cause everybody might have one of them days.
That kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what Sal sounds like from the album Popsicle. That song was called When She Smiles, which is actually a really, really great track. I really like this album. After listening to it, especially when I was listening to it passively, when I'm not like sitting and really, was really interestingly structured song. And it's really this cool deviant of funk. I really liked it. It was a really good track. And that Sal Popsicle.
I feel like it's definitely one of those albums that you have to listen all the way through. You have to go through all the songs to understand what he's doing, because like he changes up a lot of things all the way through the album. And it's interesting. It really is.
And Sal's been on the list before. I can't remember what the previous album was called, but he was like a year or two ago. He was on the list before, and it was really cool album. So this is another good one. The next one was actually totally off my radar. I had no idea who they are. I'd never even heard of them, and they did what really a lot of bands should do, and that was sent the CD to me via snail mail. And the band is called Shrizenmaze, and I got the cover here. And the album is called Dope Frequency. This was very, very different. Again, they're based, if I remember correctly, they are based outside of Switzerland. And I'm trying to pull this up. I want to make sure that I actually pull up a really, really good track for you guys to be able to listen to. I want to play this track called Mighty Reader is actually the name of the track. But what was interesting about this, which really kind of caught my attention with this album, was all the people that were on this album, which was really kind of a surprise because they actually had George Clinton on here. There was Greg Boyer is on here as well. And then on top of that, also Amp Fiddler was actually on this album. So you had like multiple people that were on this album that were very, very surprising that they were all guests. They were all guests on this, and it was pretty fantastic. It's a really, really cool little quirky album. Two guys that are obviously Shriz and Maze. The names are Eric Shriz Roner, and the other gentleman's name is Maze Kunzler, and they met back in 1999, and they were part of a Bernese funk band called In Effect. And then after that band dissolved, those two got together and called themselves Shrizenmaze, and they came up with this particular project here. And again, to have an album like this, it's got George Clinton on here, Greg Boyer, and of course the late Amp Fiddler, who we just lost not even a month ago, is really, really cool because it's just very, very different. So I'm going to play a little bit of a track, as I said before, called Mighty Reader, and I will share this with you and take a listen to this track, and we'll listen together. Here we go. Today will be good. Oh.
Mighty, mighty reader, comes the time, know you something, you gotta drop that book back in the shelf, yo. Mighty reader, I'm gonna have to kick your theory, but way on up. Now put your body to it, like you wanna do it, and if there's something to it, you better add on to it like you always.
They got a lot going on. That's Shriz and Maze, and that's a song called Mighty Reader, but it's got a lot of really cool little tracks on it. And again, this was really, really cool that they actually sent me an actual physical CD, because I wouldn't have known to look them up. You would have to go down a serious rabbit hole to actually be able to find them on Amazon. But yeah, it's very, very cool, and they got some really cool little neat tracks on there.
We always appreciate the old school way of doing stuff because it's still effective, and you just proven it, guys.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So the next one that I'm very excited about, because I had no idea who all was a member of this band, and the website and everything that they have on Bandcamp and everything did not have any information on it. And so I had to dig around. And so I was very, very happy. The band is called Watermelon Funk. And what's really, really cool about Watermelon Funk is it actually features our good friend Garrett Scheider from Parliament Funkadelic. He's in there. Kevin Goins, DeVibes, Brittany Beckett, Steve Mackey, B-Quiz. These guys all have, various ties to Parliament Funkadelic in some form or fashion. But obviously Garrett Scheider's a really, really good friend of ours. And this is another one of those albums very, very similar to the Skunk Mob, where they pretty much have that fully charged Parliament sound. complete with the strange sound effects and all that jazz, and it is very, very cool. And I am hoping that they actually have a presence on YouTube, because I'm going to be crushed if they don't, because that was the other thing too, is that they didn't there wasn't a whole bunch of information that was on the website. Yes, they do actually have something on here. Great. So we're going to take a listen to the song called Funk and Vibe, and I'm just waiting for the to add to go through first, and then we'll start this song here. Again, this is so different than the whole Spotify experience that I was hoping to have. But hey, at least we're getting to it. This is great. All right, here it is. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I said we're getting to it.
Yeah, we're getting to it. There it is. All right, this song is called Funk and Vibe from Watermelon Funk. I was so excited. Matter of fact, when I texted Garrett, I said, "You guys are on the list." He was just like, "Oh, that's awesome." And he was actually on the way to go hang out with them. But this is really cool. So I mean, look at this. 143 views. Are you serious right now? You guys,
not enough to get that up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but anybody would even look this up. But Watermelon Funk, I know that they have a Bandcamp link. You probably already put the link up there. But all right, let's check this out. This is Funk and Vibe by Watermelon Funk. Check us out.
It's a good funkin' vibe with you. If you're feeling alright, throw your hands to the sky. Throw your hands up in the sky. It's a good funkin' vibe. Here I am once again, giving you the funk like I do, but I brought my friends. Say hell yeah if you came to jam. Now say it with your chest. Now get up off your ass and dance. Now won't you get off on the good foot? Get down on the.
I wanted to play a little bit more of that one because I knew that Facebook wouldn't have any idea what that is. So that's the reason why I always felt a little bit more comfortable playing more of the track. But
they're like, we don't know.
It's so fantastic, man. It is you definitely got to check that out for sure. You got to check that album out. It's called Watermelon Funk. You got to check all these albums out because it's just fantastic. I saw somebody when I was playing Shrizamade saying, "Oh man, that's a really Stevie Wonder sound." Let me tell you who sounds like Stevie Wonder, and that is in our next entry, and that is a gentleman by the name of P.D. Williams. And the album is called Funk, Love, and Soul. And I literally about lost my mind listening to P.D. Williams, just because there's a couple tracks on here that are like so hardcore, sounding like Stevie Wonder that it's like staggering to me. It's just. It's amazing. This guy is so good. This album is so strong, and I really appreciated everything that he was trying to do. It is, I think this is his debut album. It's called Funk, Love, and Soul, and it's just there's an opening track that is on this album that sounds just like Stevie Wonder. It's very, very reminiscent vocally. He kind of like waves in and out of like this Donny Hathaway type of vibe. But there's also he also goes into different realms too, because he's got this one song on this album called Met the Devil in a Dress, and it just has this total Lenny Kravitz vibe all over it, which is really, really cool. But the track that I am going to play for you is a album or song by the name of Sophisticated Lady. And I'll play that for you right now. And let's listen to this together so you can take a listen to P.D. Williams, Sophisticated Lady, off of Funk, Love, and Soul. Check this out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. When I look at you, girl, I can't help but to say, yeah. When I look at you, girl, I can't help but to say.
So that's the song "Sophisticated Lady." You saw me, you obviously see me typing in "Met the Devil in a Dress." I'm hoping that this track is on here as well. Oh, we're gonna have a little bit of an ad first. So let's go ahead and mute this.
Hi, I'm Nicole Hoffman.
Hi, Nicole. How are you?
I know this is.
Why don't you go ahead and be quiet now for a second? Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate it. Let's check this out. What is that track I was telling you about?
Met the devil in a dress. Gotta move, kid, rest. Cause my soul is about to be taken, baby. Watch out on the run. Cause the devil ain't playing fun.
I just want to give you guys a little bit of a taste of that too.
Yeah.
This whole album is fire. Oh my God. It's so good. His voice is fantastic. Very Stevie Wonder / Donny Hathaway, but he also hits those Lenny Kravitz roots as well. Fantastic tone it's just the song structure, production, everything is great. Definitely check out this album. They put this one up in here again. It's P.D. Williams, Funk, Love, and Soul. I actually reached out to him last year and I said, I'd love to have you on the show because I want to talk about this album. It's fantastic. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. And then, of course, we had all that stuff going on at the end of the year. But I'm going to reach out to him again because you guys absolutely positively need to check this guy out when you get a chance, for sure. St. Paul Peterson in the house. How you doing, Paul? We already talked about the mighty Soulmates, but shout out, brother. Thank you so much for dropping in. Yeah, it is all over. If you guys got to check out P.D. Williams, Funk, Love, and Soul, definitely check it out. It's a great one. All right, what else we got? The next one on here is by two artists, actually. It is Zachy Force Funk and XL Middleton. And XL Middleton has actually been on the show before, or been on the list before, and he's very into that. I'm trying to think of the right word for it. That kind of Zap Roger sound, as far as how he approaches his production style. But Zachy Force Funk, I really didn't know a whole bunch about him, other than the more I started reading, I was like, what is going on with this dude? Because he is apparently, he went to jail for drug trafficking. We're talking about Zachy Force 5. Right. Zachy Force Funk. He went to jail for drug trafficking, turned his life around, and became a rocket mechanic. He's working with SpaceX now. Not kidding. I'm not kidding. So he had like this whole street thug life, this whole entire thing. And he was still very, very rooted in funk. And XL Middleton, as I said before, is very, very wrapped into that 80s, 90s G-funk. And when you took that and mixed it with Zachy Force Funk's production that he started doing, because he started doing a lot of DJ work, and so it's just these, and they're old guys. They're in their 50s. So they had this really old school funk OG sound, and the two of them I just hit it off, I guess, and they have this album now called Blue Blade Piranha, which is hard to say 3 times fast. Blue Blade. I can't even try. I can't even say it slow. But here is a track off of this album called Jam Likely. Check this out. I don't even know what this cover is, because it's not the cover of the album, but here it is. This track called Jam Likely. Check us out.
What's happening? Yes, it is I, the indubious Erwin. Just got back a week ago from the archipelago. Hey, baby, what you about to get into? Why don't you slide with me to this thing they call Jam Likely?
that's a little taste of jam. Likely you get an idea. It's that 80s, 90s G funk. It's just so cool to listen to. It's just got that sound. It just makes you feel old school. It really does. The
It
whole
makes you
time.
want to dance. Is what it does.
Makes you wanna
Old
put-
school dance.
Yeah, just
You
put
want
the
all the old jams and all the old moves.
yeah, just put the top back and just and just roll down the street, driving with your wrist.
You got
Oh my
your
yeah, do with all the bounce with the hydraulics. Yeah, with it. Oh my gosh, I want to make sure that I would pull this up here. Yeah, there we go. I want to make sure that I pull up the next track so we're ready for it, because I hate it's for some reason it's very, very difficult for me to be able to type and talk at the same time. I just can't pull it off. All right, so the next one that is on the list is another good friend of ours, the one and only and mighty Liv Warfield, and her album The Edge. Now let me just go ahead and say this album is fire. We obviously are a huge Prince group here, but anything that has anything to do with Prince we typically listen to, but what this album is just such a monster. The only complaint that I have about Liv Warfield's album is that it's too short. I feel like right when I'm just like, man, I'm fired up, it's just like, oh, it's over. Because they just handpicked some of the best friggin' tracks, and that is just, I mean, Liv obviously came to notoriety being with NPG, and of course, working with Prince in a variety of so many different shows and so many different tours. And the album The Unexpected came out when Prince was with us, and it was such a great album and such a great just really kind of showed her vocal prowess for sure. And The Edge, this new album that came out last year, is damn near perfect. It just is. And the only reason why it's not perfect is because I feel like, man, if we had like one or two more songs, I really kind of feel like it would just, but that's just me being greedy. That's all that is. That's just me being greedy, because the album is just so friggin' unreal. I mean, they got even got a cover of Another Day in Paradise from Phil Collins. But I really want to give, while we're celebrating Liv, I really want to make sure that we give a shout out to Ryan Waters, who is like the mastermind behind most of these songs, the song structures, the songs themselves. He is one of the best songwriters on the planet. And I firmly believe that. And that proof is in this album here for sure.
Right.
But we're going to play a track called Maybe They'll Take Your Picture, which by the way, that Liv came on the show, and I think Ryan was with her on the show when they actually broadcast, because the album hadn't been released yet, and they played this song on our show before the album was released. And the song is called Maybe They'll Take Your Picture, and it sounds a little something like this. Let's try it out. Apparently a lyric video.
Live your life, do your work, do it well, maybe they'll take your picture. Live your life, do your work, do it cool, maybe you live forever. Well, I tell you something ain't quite right since the satellite turned on. It's so hard to see each other. It's the end of.
That's got to give you an idea. I mean, obviously we've played that song, but I'm trying to keep people from getting kicked off of Facebook. But there it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's so hard to not keep playing that song. Like, just let it roll. You just want to let it go.
Yeah, and what's really cool again is that once we get after the show, this whole entire list will be up there, and you can play all. If you really, really are feeling the Skunk Mob, you can go on. You can play all Skunk Mob. You can play Watermelon Funk. You can play Liv Warfield. You can play Bernie Worrell's album. All these, the Mighty Soulmates. All the albums are going to be available for you to be able to play because we got the Spotify embed there for you to listen to. It's going to be, Liv Warfield's The Edge was a great friggin' album. Really, really great album. So definitely check that out. All right. Next band in the mix is a band called The Allergies. The Allergies are also very, very interesting. This is, I'm trying to remember where they're based out of. Oh, they're based out of Bristol. So this another band from overseas. This is a brand new album called Tear the Place Up. And they actually had they kind of teased out this EP a while back called Reconcile. And this is kind of what I was referring to earlier when I was kind of talking about London funk, where London funk has a very, very distinct sound. It's a little bit more, it's kind of hard for me to explain London funk. I mean, it's not like, Brand New Heavies is kind of London funk. The new Master Sounds is London funk. What's some of the other ones that are out there? Lisa Stansfield, London funk. It's that type of funk. And this band is called The Allergies, and they're very, very like that, but they're a little bit more quirky. This is a little bit more quirky than, some of those bands, obviously. This is because they're a production team. And so what they do is they kind of create the music. And then once they create the music, they bring in a host of different guests to kind of fill it in. But they have tracks with Andy Cooper from Ugly Duckling, Booty Brown, who was with The Far Side. Remember The Far Side? Charles Morgan, which is the track we're going to play, and a bunch of other people too. Marietta Smith from Smith and the Honey Badgers. All these really cool, very, very big names in London that are part of the funk scene. And this is actually a track called Reconcile. So I'll share this track and I love the album covers too. It's very B-movie type of feel. It's really kind of weird. But Reconcile has its own album cover, which you'll see here from this YouTube channel. But here it is, The Allergies Reconcile featuring Charles Morgan. Here's a little taste of this.
It's your world or mine, and it's going to be mine.
Do I have any breath pumping in my lungs? Is there even one little drop of red blood pushing through my veins? Tell me, I wanna know. Tell me. Well, if I'm standing here still alive and kicking, then how can I just walk away and give back everything we gained? Tell me, melody, yeah. Why can't we reconcile? Tell me, why can't we reconcile? I wanna know, why can't we reconcile? Tell me, why can't we reconcile?
So The Allergies, what they're best known for really is just kind of taking those old soul records and taking them and repurposing them in these really interesting and unique ways. And that was kind of a little bit of a strange track, but it's a really, the whole album is really cool. You should check it out. Again, that is The Allergies, and the album is called Tear the Place Up. And definitely want to check that one out. All right, next one on the list. Talked about it earlier. This is a little bit of a trombone shorty action here. Is the New Breed Brass Band. And again, if you're into the New Orleans sound, that's exactly what you're going to get from that. And you can even tell from just looking at it. You can, I mean, the second that you hear that it's trombone shorty in the mix, you know what it's going to sound like, because he doesn't do anything else but that. It's just, that's what he does. Let me see if I can find this one particular track here before I start talking about it here. I want to make sure that we have everything set up. All right. Yeah, it's the New Breed Brass Band. Again, it's just kind of like the second band that we talked about when we first started this was a band called The Rumble. And the New Breed Brass Band is another project that's also giving a nod to the Black Indians and just their funky musical background. It's as I mentioned, it's led by and produced by Troy Trombone Shorty Andrews, firmly rooted in New Orleans. And the band essentially has Jannard Andrews, sousaphonist Michael Brooks, Nicholas Payton, Jeff Coffin, who is from Dave Matthews Band, and the late Fifth Ward Weeby and Wild Wayne and a bunch of other people. But it really goes further down that path of making sure that there is a little bit of a salute to the Mardi Gras Indians, and they're kind of all over the closing track, Won't Bow Down, is really a huge tribute to the Mardi Gras Indians. But this is once again more of that New Orleans sound that you kind of, you kind of just have to just take in. And let's try it out. The song is called Come On Out, and it's by the New Breed Brass Band. Here's a little taste of that. This is New Breed Brass Band's album Made in New Orleans, and the song is called Come On Out. Check it out. You can see the whole band marching down the street right now. You can already envision everything going down with this New Breed Brass Band. It is, you can see it. It's just all happening for sure. All right, we got another one that again, from the town of P-Funk, Chocolate City. It is yet another one in the mix, the one and only Trezay Clinton, who is the grandson of George Clinton. So you know where this is going for sure. I want to say this is this like is this cover like an AI cover? Because I don't understand. You know how the AI always does something weird with the image, and there's that, and the thing that's on his cheek, I don't know exactly what that is. Maybe that's supposed to be, it can't be an earring because it's coming off of his eye. I don't know. It's just weird. But the name of the album is called I Can Dig It. Emma, while I'm kind of talking about this, I want to let's see if I can pull up this song. The song I'm going to play is a clip called Nuts For Ya, because he has some nuts for you. And I'm actually surprised that all these songs are actually on YouTube, to be totally honest, because some of these are really, really deep. And, you know, some of these are very, very deep tracks. So I'm just very happy to actually see them on here for sure. But this is Trezay Clinton, as I said, grandson to George Clinton. And it's thoroughly embedded in his DNA as far as the sound of Parliament Funkadelic. And his first album was an album called Techno Pimp that he did, or was record called Techno Pimp that he did with George when he was 9 years old. And what's interesting with Trezay is that he loves R&B and he loves hip hop and he loves funk. So last year he released 3 albums, 1 R&B, 1 hip hop, and 1 funk album. And this year in 2023, he did it again. He released 3 albums, and the funk album is called I Can Dig It. And this is a track again called Nuts For Ya. He has nuts for ya. It's kind of basically how it's supposed to be, I guess. And this is a track, and I'll let you take a listen to it. But again, it's that Parliament sound all through it. Here you go. Today, oh, I muted it.
I'm so nuts for you, baby. Ooh, you drive me crazy. I got
right, yeah. It's all of the things you do. I lose my mind. I think of you and somehow I lose track of time. Slow or fast, the heartbeat's hard to find. 5, 4, 3, 2, you're one of a kind. Yeah, I'm nuts. Nuts for you, baby. I'm nuts. Nuts for you, baby. I'm nuts. Nuts for you, baby. I'm nuts. Nuts for you, baby.
All right. Nuts for ya, baby. Jose Clinton.
That
Yeah.
could always be. You know what? That's one of those that you want to be playing in your car and turn it up right when you get to that.
Yeah, you just want to have the top down and the windows rolled down. Again, driving with your wrist. You know, there's only like I think 4 more albums in this mix before we're outside the 20, and then we're gonna do the 5 bonus ones, and then we're gonna go into the news, which I know you guys want to hear. All right, so the next one on the list is a band called, well, the group is called Floki Sessions, and Floki Sessions is actually another super group of sorts, and it consists of I want to pull up the right song too, because there's a song that I want to play for you guys off of this album called Mardi Gras Day, since we're kind of in that New Orleans mode. But this was actually a super group, and it included Eddie Roberts from the New Master Sounds, who has been on the show before, and the New Master Sounds are seemingly always on this list whenever they have an album out, because it's just so it's a mess. It's just because they always have that London funk sound, and it's just so funky. There's no way you can not put them on there. But Eddie Roberts from the New Master Sounds, you got George Porter Jr. from the Meters, and he also played with Stevie Wonder. Nicky Glaspie, who was the drummer from Dumpster Funk, and then Robert Walters from Robert Walters 20th Congress, and also Grey Boy All Stars. And it's just that's the band, that's the supergroup band. And then they bring in a bunch of different vocalists to kind of fill it in, whether it's Green Tea, Sun Little, Lamar Williams Jr. from North Mississippi All Stars, Erica Falls from Galactic. You know, they just have like all these artists that come in and just fill in tracks. And it was recorded in London. It was called what was the name of that place? Floki Studios, obviously, in 11 Experiences Deplar Farm in Iceland. I have never heard of an album produced in Iceland, but apparently this place called Floki Studios in Iceland is becoming like a hotspot for funk bands to kind of fly in. It's like a random place to fly in to record something. It's just kind of really weird. But this is called Floki Sessions. And again, the name of the song is called Mardi Gras Day. I'll play a little clip of this, and you probably should know what to expect just from the title. So here it is, Mardi Gras Day.
Mardi Gras Day, Mardi Gras Day, you know it's a party and having a time. Mardi Gras Day, Mardi Gras Day, you know it's a party and having a time. Mardi Gras Day, Mardi Gras Day, you know it's a party and having a time. Mardi Gras Day, Mardi Gras Day, you know it's a party and having a time. Mardi Gras morning, we gonna have some fun now. Do you like you wanna do your thing till the day is done? Do you like you wanna is a boy and a girl? Do you like you wanna? It's the biggest party in the whole wide world. Do you like you wanna? Hey now, mama, hey now, Paul.
A little bit of a taste of Mardi Gras Day. That actually song features Big Chief Donald Harrison. Yet another shout out. 2023 was a big year for Mardi Gras Indians as far as getting some representation in the music that's out there and the funk that was out there between the New Breed Brass Band and the Rumble and the Floki Sessions, which took some time to honor them. So the Mardi Gras Indians had a little bit of a view. That was really, really cool to actually get the representation that they're getting. All right, next band on the list. We're getting close here. We've only got it's 3, 2, 1. This is number 3. and that is a band called Swindler, and the name of the album is called Lego My Ego. Because we're from the 70s, we're in the 80s, we were used to Lego My Ego, so it's kind of
My ego.
it's kind of really difficult to for me to say that without thinking ego, but it's Lego My Ego.
Almost can't help it.
Yeah, you can't help it. It's almost you want to say that. Anyways, the song I'm going to play for you is a song called Orange Peel. And let me get you a little bit more information on these guys, but they're kind of a newcomer to this list. They've never been here before. But the band is very, very heavily inspired by the Meters. There's a track on this album called Dizzy that's very, very Meters. And this was the other band from Seattle, Washington I was talking about, that they've got this underground funk movement that's happening in Seattle. I've only been to Seattle once in my life. It was very, very cool when I went there. So I don't really know much about this underground scene, but apparently it's really, the town that used to be well known for grunge is starting to kind of sway over into the funk arena. And there's a lot of funk jam bands that are happening here. And Swindler is one of them. And the Poly Rhythmics, which we talked about earlier, is another one. And so this is a track that is off of this album. It's called Orange Peel. And I'll go ahead and share this as well. We'll play this track and check it out. This is Swindler Orange Peel from Lego My Ego. There you That's a song called Orange Peel off of the album Lego My Ego, or maybe it's Lego My Ego. Maybe that's what they meant to do. I don't know.
Ego.
I never thought about that. I don't know. It's Lego My Ego, maybe, but it's Lego My Ego. I don't know.
My ego is good.
Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna just go with that. All right. The next band is a couple more for the top 20, and then we got little 5 bonuses here real quick for you. Some of them that you're well familiar with. But this one is called Baker's Dozen. And let me see if I can make sure that they're even on this list. Now, Baker's Dozen was actually was unusual about them is that there was this one individual that was obsessed with he literally was obsessed with funk, and he started writing when he was he was in this band called what was the name of the band here? It's Tim Jim Baker and Ryan Guy J Pierce, and this guy wrote like 13 songs on the album, and he basically wanted to call it Baker's Dozen. Get it? Baker's Dozen, 13 songs. So that's the reason why he named it the way that he did. And so he wrote these 13 songs and he sent them to this guy named Ryan Pierce, who was just a singer that he knew, that I guess they'd worked in a band together, several bands together in the past. And he liked what he did so much that he let him sing on all the tracks that he had. And the end result ended up being this album called Baker's Dozen. And this is volume 1. We have yet to see volume 2, but this is volume 1. And wanted to make sure that this particular song was on the list. Hopefully it is. It's a song called Bumper Stumper, and I'm hoping it's on here. It is. Great. Fantastic. Yeah, YouTube is really, YouTube is holding down the fort for me for sure. I had to kind of mute it every now and then because obviously we got some of these ads. So I wanted to make sure that we had this. All right. So I'm going to unmute this. I'm going to play this track for you. Again, this is Baker's Dozen Volume 1. And the song is called Bumper Stumper. And thank you so much for staying on top of the whole Amazon links if you guys want to order any of this stuff. But here it is. Bumper Stumper. Check this out. little bit of Bumper Stumper from Baker's Dozen. That's another band that has some very, very New Orleans like sound to it for sure.
Love those horn lines, man.
It's just those horns, just those massive horns. It's that New Orleans funk all over again. It's just right there. All right, this is the last entry in the top 20, but I do have 5 bonuses, and those 5 bonuses do count as part of this list. They are part of the best funk list. Even though the list is called the top 20 list, these 5 bonuses are very much a part of that list. And because it's not really like honorable mentions, they are, because we did have some honorable mentions, Jeff. We had talked about this. We had talked about the fact that Endra Carey's album, Super Funk Market, which is the Japanese band that we're obsessed with. And I felt really, really bad that I didn't put them on the list, but there was just not a lot of funk on the album called Super Funk Market. It was a 2 CD album. The entire CD, second CD, was like all acoustic, just him singing and piano, and only like about 4 or 5 of like the 12 tracks on the first CD were actually funk. Most of it was just, so I really wanted to add them to the list because I love them and I really like supporting Endra Carey, but it's like it was so frustrating. But you gotta make sure that it's really great front to back, because I never want to put an album on this list that's not really, really good all the way through, that you're not going to enjoy. And that's one of the reasons why, I think that people really have put this list in high regard, is because I would do my homework here to make sure that you're going to love this. Here is the last one of the 20. And that is a artist by the name of DJ Williams. And the album is called Soldier of Love. Let me make sure that I've got the track put up here, because there's going to be a track that I want to play called Whippersnapper. But yeah, I don't really, this actually came up on my radar. I don't remember. I think I was going down a rabbit hole when I was trying to do some of the initial research for here, and I was just like, who is this dude? But this whole album is very, very beautifully produced. It's the opening track it's very Lenny Kravitz. The track I'm going to play you is very, very Lenny Kravitz-esque, called Whippersnapper, but it's got special guests all throughout this whole album. It's got Adam Deitch and Eric Benny Bloom from Lettuce on here. You got Isaac Teal from who's also known as Mr. Funk Nasty. You've got Alan Evans from Soul Live on here. Josh Fairman from Sun Squabby. Nate Miller from the Adam Deitch Quartet. You got Kanika Moore from Talk. I mean, there's bands like all the funk jam bands must have came through the studio at one time. It was pretty friggin' ridiculous. But it goes all over. It goes all over the map with the different styles of funk, and I love this. Love this album. And that's another one thing I want to make sure. Just because they're last on the list doesn't mean they're number 20. There is no numerical order of this. It's just every album that's on here is what it is. It's one of the best funk albums of 2023. But DJ Williams, and the album is called Soldier of Love, and I want to play a track called Whippersnapper. You got to check this out. We'll check this out. Here it goes. played a lot of that song. I want to hear that song all the way through. It's so great, but I know we're going to get kicked off of Facebook. I know it.
Yeah,
But
we're in
DJ
trouble.
Williams, man, that album is fantastic. That whole entire album is so strong. Every track is strong. It's such a good album. Check that out. DJ Williams, Soldier of Love. There's that album cover one more time for you. All right, let's go ahead and go quickly into the bonuses here because I wanted to make sure that you guys got a little bit of a taste of the albums that are on here as well. Now, I think you probably guys may have expected to see this one on here. You're probably thinking, oh man, you guys are such kiss asses. We're not, because it is, it just is what it is. Prince and the New Power Generation, Diamonds and Pearls, Super Deluxe. It's kind of hard not to put this on here. Now, here's the reason why this bonus section exists. The bonus section exists because of the fact that there are a lot of albums that get re-released, or it may be an album that was released previously, and then it's the band doing a live version of it, and they release a live version of the album. And that's part of the problem is that, you know, if it's a re-release, it's not really a new album. So it's just kind of, but it's so great that it has to kind of end here. So Prince, Diamonds and Pearls, Super Deluxe. We've talked about this album multiple times. It has been on multiple news magazines and music magazines top list of like the best box sets. And it's got so many friggin' tracks on here. You got the live concerts that are on here of the Glam Slam in Minneapolis from 1992. You got the Special Olympics concert from 1991, including the sound check. You had 33 previously unreleased tracks, 15 newly remixed single edits, the complete Diamonds and Pearls video collection. And it is just, it's just a monster. It's such a great album. And there's so many really cool tracks on here. Obviously, you know, trying to figure out, you know, which one do we kind of want to play here. And I'll play a little bit of a clip of Skip to My You, My Darling, which you probably already know, but hopefully we're not going to get an ad here. We probably are, but this is like a great album. And I think that we are.
Yeah, it's been a year now. This last visit.
Okay, so.
And it changed my whole life, man. When you got
My
something
whole
that's
life.
troubling you.
Album changed my whole life. It really did. And of course, because of the fact it's Prince, it's going to play multiple. There we go. All right.
Been working all day. Can't wait to get home to my baby so we can play. Hey, ooh, what you do to me? Do to me.
I gotta be real. I want to play more of this song, but Facebook is like really hardcore about Prince tracks for sure. So we're going to stop there. That song was called Skip to My You, My Darling. But again, this is going to be on the bonus tracks. It's a great album. Yes, I know we'd love to play this stuff, but I'm telling you, Facebook, you guys will get kicked off in a minute. Like right out of the gate, you guys will be kicked off. So we just got to be real careful. All right. Let's go to the next one. Number 2 of the 5 bonus ones. And that is Live at the Bitter End, the Enema Squad. Yes, the Enema Squad. Let me see if I have a track from this one. And but the Enema Squad, they've been on the Funkatopia Best Funk list previously. And you know what's interesting about them is I don't really understand why they're not. I mean, maybe it's the name. I think maybe. But I don't understand why they're not bigger than they actually are, because they've actually done a lot of different appearances. They opened up for Fishbone. They've opened up for the Black Eyed Peas. But they've got this. This is all their tracks that they've had on previous albums, but they've actually got this. There's a club called the Bitter End, and they're playing at this club. And so it's previously released tracks, but they're playing live in this club. And it's really, really cool to kind of see them kind of do their thing, but they're based out of Detroit, Michigan, obviously the same as the late Amp Fiddler. And it's led by the former Parliament Funkadelic drummer, Gabe Gonzalez. But Garrett Scheider has also been in this mix before. Greg Boyer. And there's like a bunch of different people that have been in this mix. So the Enema Squad has been around for a minute for sure. And the track I'm going to play is, I'm going to pull this up for you here, but this is from that album. It's called United State of Mind from the Enema Squad. And I think this is, I don't know, this is actually the live one. This is probably just the regular track.
State of mind, united. Together we stand, divided we fall. To have that type of state of mind is good for us all. Show me wisdom, babe.
Actually, they're actually on Bandcamp, actually. So we could actually probably play an actual track from that. We can actually play that. So let's actually share that real quick, because I really want to play a clip from the actual album and not just the track of one of the tracks that they're playing. But here's United State of Mind. Let's see. Hopefully I'm not sure.
Well. Hey. Check it out, y'all. Together we stand, divided we fall. To have that type of state of mind is good for us. Divided we fall. To have that type of state of United State of mind. United. Y'all say it,
That's a little bit of a taste of the Enema Squad and live at the bitter end, which is very, really cool. All right, 3 more to go, and we're gonna that's it. Next one is going to be Lettuce live in Amsterdam. Love Lettuce. I don't think this I can't honestly think of a bad album that they ever did. There are some bands that are out there that do funk, and then they go down these really weird rabbit holes, and they don't really they don't come out. Like one band that I can think of that I love to death is the Monophonics. I love the Monophonics with a passion, but sometimes the Monophonics get really deep and kind of grungy, and it totally changes their sound. One band that I can tell you that doesn't really change their sound a whole bunch is Lettuce, because it is funk. It is jam band funk. And I love the fact that they are, that they're so committed to their sound, and they have been around since for many, many years. I know that they celebrated their 20th anniversary. I want to say, I think that's what it was, the 20th. But they've been around for many, many years. It goes without saying they're just a legendary funk band, the OGs of the funk jam band scene, featuring Eric Jesus Coombs, saxophonist Ryan Zoidis, guitarist Adam Smirnoff, drummer Adam Deitch, keyboardist and vocalist Nigel Hall, and then trumpeter Eric Benny Bloom, all of which, with the exception of just a couple of them, have been on this show before. We've talked about them. And what's really funny about this is this album is live in Amsterdam, and Lettuce is very, very known for being a funk jam band, for having an audience that likes to partake. And I don't say that to be, to be demeaning or anything, because Lettuce embraced that, and they actually came up with their own CBD line. So they were just like, screw it. That's what we know. They have their own CBD products. Like if you go to the Lettuce website at lettucefunk.com, they have their own CBD line that you can actually order. So they know it's very much a BYOJ at their show. And so here's this jam band, Lettuce, live in Amsterdam, just kind of partying. And it's fantastic. And here is a little track called Let Bobby, Lett, that's like short for lettuce, Let Bobby. And this is from Live in Amsterdam. And here's the official audio. Check it out. That's a little taste for you. That's Lettuce Live in Amsterdam. The song is called Let Bobby. And it's lettuce. There's no denying lettuce. They are who they are, and I love that they embrace their audience and that they've just been there. And they're such cool people to talk to too. They're such great musicians. All right, we only got 2 more to go, and then we're done. Then we can go into the news here. But this has been the best funk of 2023 list, and we got a couple more for you. And this next one is a band by the name of Surefire Soul Ensemble. Let me see if they're on here. Surefire Soul Ensemble. This video is going to take all kinds of editing for sure. Surefire Soul Ensemble, and the name of the album is called Live at Panama 66. This is obviously features their previous albums, but I don't know exactly where Panama 66 is. I want to say Panama. Oh, it's in San Diego. It's recorded at Balboa Park 66 in San Diego. And they're just a great live band. And it's actually from an older show in 2019. And it's what's really, really cool is that they actually have members of the band that have been on the list before, like Jack Nager on drums. Jack Nager was on the list with his solo album, I want to say a couple years ago. But it's got a really, really great culmination of funk artists. And I love these bands, especially these jam bands that kind of intertwine different members from different bands like Soul Live and New Master Sounds and Lettuce, and they just kind of all intermingle and create these random projects and sit in with these different projects, and it's really, really cool. This is a band, again, called Surefire Soul Ensemble, and the song that I want to play for you is a song by the name of Campus Life, and we're going to play this one here, and oh boy, I didn't even bother to even click to see if there's an ad on here, so I might have to mute it for a second if there's an ad. Love YouTube. I think I might have to sign up for, it's going to be an ad. I might have to sign up for YouTube, whatever it is. It's just because these ads are just killing me. And they're such depressing ads too. All right, here it is. Campus Life from Sure. Kind of gives you an idea what it's like. That's Campus Life by Surefire Soul Ensemble. Boy, that is like a mouthful to say. All right, the last one on the list. The last one. We made it through the top 20, not the top 20, just 20. And these are your 5 bonuses. Here is the 5th and final bonus. This is the end of the list right here, and it is a band called High Fade. Man, I hope that they're actually on there, but because this is, do they have a band thing? Let's see. Hope that they do. This is one of these really, really cool high energy bands. I think the first time that I saw them, I thought they remind me a lot of like the early Police, where previously like Ghost in the Machine type of energy, where it's just like there's really, really frenetic energy. And I thought, you know what they actually remind me of more is early Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's that same type of craziness. And what's cool is that they caught my attention because they were on a video that they were playing on some streets in London, and they were just doing a little jam session, and the drummer wasn't where he was supposed to be, and he came running from off camera. I guess he may have been setting up the camera, or he came running off the camera and just perfectly sat down and entered into the song. And it was just funny because that energy that they have, that really, really frenetic energy, reminded me of early Red Hot Chili Peppers, early The Police. But also when you talk about funk bands, there was a band that you guys may or may not know called 5 Alarm Funk that is based out of Canada. They also have that really kind of silly, just ba-da-da-da-da-da. And I love these guys, and their website is at highfademusic.live. And this is actually not a live, well, this is a live one, but it's not a box set or anything. It's not like a really long thing. And it's an EP. It's the only EP that's on this list. And the song that I'm going to play for you is a song by the name of Airplane Mode. And this will be the last one that we play before we go into the news here. But I wanted to make sure that you guys heard this. This is really fantastic stuff. Here you go. It is Airplane Mode by High Fade. Live in London is the EP. Let's check this out.
Ow! London, how we feeling out there? We feeling good. Give me an ooh. Ow! 1, 2, 3. Ow! Hit me! Oh! To the guitar. Let me see you move. Come on.
I love it. There you go. High Fade, live in London. That was a clip of a track called Airplane Mode, and that's a live track from them. So there you go. The 25 albums, best funk albums of 2023. Now, could there possibly be some other bands that are in them? Absolutely. I know for a fact there are some other bands that maybe I have not, I missed, or they didn't, just kind of came in under the radar or whatever. But what I want to make sure that you understand, this happens every single year. I am in the process right now as we are speaking. I am posting this entire list along with everything that we have that we talked about here with the embedded Spotify list onto Funkatopia.com. So I'm about to click publish, and it's going to be out there. So if you wanted to listen a little bit more to any of these artists, please absolutely feel free. I am publishing it right friggin' now. So I hope you guys enjoyed that list. This has been the 25 albums that we picked for the best funk albums of 2023. And what I was going to say is that every single year since 2014, what normally happens is that I'll go through the list, and then there'll be a bunch of comments of people saying, well, why didn't you include this person? And I can't believe you missed this. And I can't believe you missed that. And that area is probably even more fun than even going through this list, because, you know, you get to hear bands that you've never even heard of before. This is like just things that you've never even thought of. And so it's really cool because I've just been kind of going through this process, and, you know, I go through this process all year, and I already have a 2024 list already started for this year as the kind of things come out, because there are so many great albums that I'm looking forward to that are supposed to be coming out. We got Brittany Howard from Alabama Shakes is supposed to be releasing her album this year. The Skunk Mob is releasing another album this year, from what I heard. Also, you know, Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish. You never know what they're going to put out. They always kind of be on the cutting edge of doing something really, really different. Dua Lipa's new album's coming out. Lenny Kravitz's new album's coming out. SZA's got a new album coming out. Usher has got a brand new album coming out February 11th. Chromeo, if you want to stick to the funk. There is so many bands that have albums that are coming out this year that I'm looking forward to hearing and may or may not end up on this list. But if you know of something that you missed or that I missed, please add it to that comment section. If you go to funkatopia.com right now, that entire list that I just went through is going to be on there, including all the descriptions and the embedded Spotify list. So everything is there. So please check it out. I really want you to enjoy it and put your comments in and whatnot. And thank you guys so much for tuning in for this. This has been the best funk list of 2023. So thank you guys for tuning in. Now we're going to go into the news section, so don't go anywhere. But I had to say that so that we can make that video really, really clean. But there's got to be a bunch of editing since we had all these technical issues, which was really, really weird and kind of very, very frustrating for me because I am a perfectionist when it comes to this crap. So I was like, I hate this crap when it happens.
Curveballs, right?
Well, because Spotify logged me out. I was logged in listening, and I have the professional version, the family version of Spotify. So my multiple people and everything, and it logged me out. And then it wouldn't send me a refresh on the password reset. Nothing. It was like, so luckily every single one of the tracks that I picked out happened to be on YouTube. So, I'm not very happy with Spotify.
Yeah, and some people on Facebook may notice that a couple of times links didn't show up. They were sent, but again, Facebook was glitchy. But I did send a link out for every song, an Amazon link, and any band that did not have an Amazon link, I just sent the link with their website. So the information's out there. You'll see it next time you watch it or whatever, but that did happen as well.
Yeah, this is really, really great too. She says, Sonia shared a bunch of bands that said didn't make the list. I thought I looked at Exiles in the Nation and I didn't think they had one. Now, here's the other thing too. They have to have an album that was released in 2023. That's the biggest thing. Cause there's a lot of bands and I'm pretty sure Exile was on the list. And I don't remember seeing anything that was listed for 2023, but some of these bands, I'm going to be adding them to my list to do my regular check and make sure that they are. But please make sure, Sonia, if they had albums that released in 2023, please make sure you go to that page and put them in the comment area because people actually refer to this list quite a bit. And Google loves the Funkatopia Best Funk list. So if you got any type of representation with any of these bands, give them some love in the comment area to make sure that they are well represented because, Google always picks up our list in the top. If you look for best funk albums or best funk list, Google always gives us some love. Now, however, I just now posted this one, so it's probably going to take a little bit for that one to pop up. But anyways, all right, let's kind of break into it, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's break into the funk news, man. That was wow. That was a lot.
That was a lot. That was a lot to keep up with.
Best funk lists of 2023. That was great. That was fantastic. Let's break into the news because I know that you guys are huge Prince fanatics and whatever. And I know we got a lot of stuff to talk about, but we also got some entertainment news to talk about as well. But first, before we even go ahead.
No, I was going to say, there's some entertainment. There's some stuff going on.
Oh my God, there's a bunch of stuff going on. I mean, now I'll just go ahead and pre-warn you. I didn't put any Jeffrey Epstein stuff on this list because
thank you.
That list is getting insane. It's crazy. And it's starting to make me mad because they're including people's names that shouldn't even be on that list. Not because they were just like George Lucas is on that Epstein list. But the only reason why he's on that list is because somebody asked him or asked somebody if George Lucas was on the list, and he said, no, George Lucas is not on the list. And so because of the fact that his name was even mentioned, he's now on a list. And it's like, dude, that doesn't even make any sense. Oh my God. Anyways, so here we go. It is happy birthday to the one and only Bobby Z is in the house. I mean, he might be in here. He comes in every now and then. Yes. Bobby Z is in the mix. He's turned, I don't remember exactly how old he is today, but it is his birthday. It doesn't matter. We don't, we got to show some mad respect for the one and only Bobby Z. It is his birthday today. I saw somebody go into the post and say, happy belated birthday, Bobby. And it was like, it's not belated. It's today. Unless maybe they're in Australia or maybe they're overseas and it's already tomorrow, maybe. I don't know.
They're writing from the future.
I guess so. So happy birthday to Bobby Z for sure. We can't go without saying some of the insanity that happened late last week in the form of Cat Williams appearing on Club Shay Shay. Dude is out of control.
He's letting go. He's letting loose.
I guess what I don't understand about what Cat is doing here on this. First off, he kind of felt like he needed to kind of set the record straight on a lot of different things that I don't think anybody even knew or even cared about. But saying stuff like Cedric the Entertainer stole his best jokes, and he was like taking all kinds of swaps at Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer. Was like, they're not funny. It's like, I've heard a lot of their stuff and their stuff is funny, but he was just like, I have 14 specials on Netflix and Cedric the Entertainer doesn't have any, and Steve Harvey doesn't have any. There's a reason for that because they're not funny. And it's like, God dang. I think Cedric the Entertainer and Steve Harvey have done pretty well for themselves, but man, he was like Ludacris. He was hammering on Ludacris and he said Tyler Perry and Ricky Smiley can't act. He said they only do female roles because there aren't man enough to do manly roles. I'm like, dude's coming out swinging. He said Harvey Weinstein offered to perform oral sex on him for a role in a movie, and he claims that he named some other artists or another actors that got the roles, and so he assumes that they let Harvey do whatever he did. I'm like, then Ricky Smiley, he was tearing into Ricky Smiley like a lot of the interview, saying that he was, because he said that Ricky Smiley said that he was supposed to play the Money Mike role in Friday After Next, and that Cat stole it from him, and it was like, and there was something about he said something the Money Mike role that Money Mike was supposed to be raped in the bathroom in the original script, and Cat made them change it if he was going to do the role. And really quickly, like less than 12 hours after he had posted that, Ice Cube did a response video and said that never happened. He goes, I would never put a rape scene in a comedy movie. He goes, that never existed. It was never there. I don't know where that came from or what he's thinking, or it was supposed to, that just never happened. And he said Chris Tucker went to Epstein Island, and come to find out that somebody had put up a clip from Chris Tucker from a previous comedy special that he did years ago, where he actually talked about it. So that was true, which is crazy. But I don't know what the truth of it. But and then we was talking about Kanye West, and he said, Kanye West, he just, he married a whore. It was like everyone was like, Shannon Sharp was like, what? He goes, you can't say that,
Dude.
And called Ludacris's wife and said she's a light-skinned ugly cat's wife. Said Ludacris sold his soul to the Illuminati in exchange for being rich and did 20 movies. And Shannon was like, what 20 movies? Just like, he was like, what's the Fast and Furious up to now? And he was like 10. He was like, you got 10 more to go. Like,
yeah.
Cat was in a mode. I don't even know. I don't even know why it was even necessary for him to kind of go down this route and to just take so many people down with him.
He is just swinging at people. I only have one thing to say to Cat.
Why?
I have one thing.
I actually have one thing to say also.
Y'all, you out your head. Lame brain.
And for those of you that ain't grown or can't take it, you can have that one.
Yeah, so anyways, that's a long clip. Yeah, so anyways, there was a bunch of stuff. So Kat just kind of went off. I actually, no joke, I am not kidding when I say this. I am not exaggerating. I watched the whole entire 2-hour and 45-minute video. I watched the entire interview, and it was just like, what is happening? And then I realized that he's got a comedy special that's coming out. I was just like, okay, kind of, all right, this is what's happening.
Well, so he talked about why he was upset about Steve Harvey and why he doesn't like him, what happened in the past. And, there are places sporadically where you can find why he's going in on people. So, I mean, that's out there too.
Yeah. It's, yeah. Oh yeah. Forgot to make sure I give a little shout out to LAW because he was actually on that Bitter End recording as well.
That's right.
With the squad. So yes, we got to make sure that we get a little shout out to LAW as well because he was actually in that mix. So congratulations, Law. You're a good friend of a good friend. I see that Vanessa Bartholomew is in the mix. Is in the chat room here.
Vanessa.
We have a couple items for Vanessa that I'm sure she'll have a little bit of feedback on for show. So I'm gonna segue into it first by talking about the fact that Elvis Presley's estate has now agreed to do a hologram show with Elvis Presley.
Right.
Now, as many of you know, there has been talk about a Prince hologram show, but he was because of the fact that Prince called that out right out of the gate, that he did not want that to happen because he was kind of freaked out by it. I always kind of wondered, obviously Elvis wasn't around for the technology that we have today. So he didn't really have any say so as far as, I don't want no hologram of me. Whatever,
Leave it alone.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do that. But the other thing too is that the problem is that and this goes without saying that most of his audience is no longer with us. The Elvis fans are very, very few and far. They're not few and far between because there's always new generations of
it's new
coming in the mix. But the people that were actually calling the shots and everything, and now including his daughter this past, there's not a lot of people to say no, you can't do that. So it goes to wonder. We're getting up there too. As far as being Prince fans, will this be, will 20 years down the road, will they be making this call that, hey, we're going to do a hologram show of Prince? And
you're saying after we die off, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I would say so. Everybody here is going to die. I hate to bring it down. I hate to bring y'all down, but y'all all going to die. But the reality of it is that as we get, the point of this being is that as we kind of get further down the road, the people that would have made those calls and put their foot down and say, you're not going to do these. You're not going to do these anymore. You can't do Prince holograms because Prince didn't want it. But those people that were say, yeah, but we can make millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars by doing a hologram show in Vegas or wherever, who's to stop them? Especially, who's to stop this from happening? And I don't know. It's just Elvis is. This will be interesting to see. The hologram, to see a hologram show of Elvis is going to be interesting to for sure. It's going to be interesting to see. Yeah. And the reason why I bring this up is because of the fact that we're already kind of seeing some Purple Rain on Broadway action going on right now. This has been a little bit of a heated discussion.
Yeah.
Because I posted this on Facebook a couple of days ago, or maybe it was yesterday. I heard about this a few days ago. And of course, everybody that I knew and their mama, because of the fact that they know that I'm a Prince fan, they kept saying, hey, do you see they're making Purple Rain into a musical? They're making Purple Rain into a musical.
Right.
And what's interesting about this, and this is where Vanessa kind of comes into this mix. what's interesting about this is that, we were talking quite a bit about the fact that next year is the 40th anniversary. This year, actually, I should say next year. This year is the 40th anniversary of Purple Rain. And we were talking about the fact that it's really important that the estate do something significant for this occurrence. It's the 40th anniversary of Purple Rain. There's got to be something significant that's going to be happening, not just in this, but also for the celebration as well. And then when this Broadway announcement came out, that it's based. Albert Magnoli's name keeps being thrown around because somebody was asking me. I can't remember who it was. Somebody was asking me on Facebook, and I didn't respond. So sorry if I didn't respond. That this is supposed to be some Broadway thing that Albert was tied to. He's not. This has nothing to do with that at all. This is done by a guy named Brandon Jacobs Jenkins, who is a 2-time Pulitzer Prize finalist, and he's apparently doing really, really well on Broadway. He's got a bunch of stuff going on Broadway. They named a bunch of different things that he's done that I've never even heard of.
Right.
No offense to him. I've just never heard of him. And I thought this was kind of weird that this was going on because of the fact that I started seeing an interview that he had done in the New Yorker talking about what's going to be happening with this play. And he's making changes to the script. And this is a little bit clip. It's a young musician called The Kid Prince, who drives a purple motorcycle, writes strange and passionate songs, and vies with pimp-like band leader Morris Day for the affections of a beautiful young singer named Apollonia. Okay, so far on par. The version of Jacob Jenkins' adaptation that I saw retained most of the story, but gave its extravagant characters a 21st century makeover. Day, when he made a pass at Apollonia, called her a sophisticated multi-hyphenate mamma jamma and suggested that she might have a future focusing on women's empowerment at his media company. Okay. Apollonia had evolved from feisty but pliant Galatea to confident creative force. The Kid Prince changed most of all from a seductively inscrutable and mercurial figure to a more vulnerable young artist. In Darling Nikki, a song about a sex fiend, the film character slut shames Apollonia for defecting to Morris Day. Yet, in his adaptation, the stunt backfires in the adaptation, triggering a deluge of text that heralded the Kid's cancellation. So, Prince is going to get canceled in this Broadway this adaptation by this guy because of the fact that he did what he did in Darling Nikki in the movie. This version, this adaptation that's happening has Prince getting canceled in this thing.
We're going to make this. See what would have happened if he had done that. If he had done that, this is what would have happened.
What happened was,
see, what had happened was, and after he was done, we had to call my friends and cancel him. I mean, I'm sorry, man.
Listen, I get
you can take a bazillion. Go ahead, what?
No, I was going to say, I get that Purple Rain was extremely misogynistic. I get that. Okay, you want to like glaze over some things as far as what you're going to be doing on the stage. I get it. Do what you gonna do. But does this qualify as woke culture? Is this because you got Apollonia moving into like a woman's empowerment thing? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what they're trying to say, but you're taking a story, you're taking a show, a movie that already has a script written, and you're rewriting it with all this extra stuff that is unnecessary. I don't know. There's got to be a way to do it without doing that.
I call BS. This is not woke culture. This is somebody who's afraid to redo the production as it was. They were afraid to do it, so they're deciding, hey, let's soften it up so people accept it, so I don't get canceled and I don't get blasted. That's what that is. I think that's fear. I think that's garbage to do it that way, because there's a whole lot of productions that the original was like, oh, really? But they redid it exactly as it was. This is garbage as far as I'm concerned. Doesn't make any sense.
But wait, there's more. There's more to this. And it's not now you can read that New Yorker article if you want to get more annoyed and agitated. I did see some people actually were commenting on the post that I had done on Facebook saying there's nothing wrong with rewriting the story and making it safe for all viewers everywhere and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, yes, no, I see what you're talking about. But on the same note, it's a story. It's okay. It's a story that's already set. It's already done. And they even made changes to make it less offensive in the movie that it was already. But here is the interesting part. Now, it's because this has really caused a huge rift in the Prince community with what they're doing here with this adaptation. But here's the interesting part. And this is from Variety magazine. This is not AI. This is from Londell McMillan. He says, we can't think of a more fitting tribute than to honor Prince and the Purple Rain legacy with this stage adaptation of the beloved story. We are thrilled with our Broadway partners and creative team who are bringing a theatricality, to the film's original fictional story. We can't wait for a new generation to discover Purple Rain and for lovers of the original film and album to experience its power once again, this time live. So, and if you go to Twitter and also was it Instagram, it was one of the social media. The Prince account is pushing this Broadway production hard. Londell is pushing this hard. Charles Spicer is pushing this hard. All of them are pushing this hard. But which makes me wonder, are they aware of these adaptation changes that he's making, and is this their sign off saying that they are okay with these adaptation changes that are being made with the Purple Rain script? Because you are all hardcore about maintaining Prince's legacy and supporting and making sure that Prince's legacy stays intact, but I think this changes the face of what that is. And I have to give, maybe the possibility that the fact that maybe they weren't aware that these adaptations were taking place. I want to say that if Londell saw what they were doing, that he would have been a little bit more. They're all gung-ho. They are all gung-ho about this Broadway, and they're making it. And they've even attached their name to it as part of what they're doing to recognize the 40th anniversary of the Purple Rain story.
Yeah, I feel like leaving out things and editing things for Broadway makes sense. Changing it doesn't. So who knows? Maybe they are on board. Maybe they've seen it, read it, and said, you know what, this does work and whatever. But if they're hitting it that hard, I gotta think that they know. I mean, I can't imagine that these guys would jump on board without knowing all the details, because that's their job. That's what they do. So I got to think they know exactly what's happening, and they're going to push it. So
I think if Londell and Charles knew that these adaptations in place, I don't think that the quotes would have been so gung-ho in the support, that the level of support that they're doing right now. I would think that the quote would have been something like, we're looking forward to the Broadway adaptation. We'll be, watching it closely and making sure that it stays, something along those lines, where it's kind of like, having a little bit, you're just kind of just throwing yourself out there. If you haven't even seen the full adaptation, or you haven't even seen the full script, and it's like, you're throwing all your eggs in this basket. Sewing. Now, the other thing too, there's been a lot of talk about that. Maybe, just maybe, they don't have a whole bunch planned for the 40th of the Purple Rain anniversary. Like, maybe they can't get things locked down the way that they want to get them locked down. And so the very presence of this Broadway Purple Rain thing is a really good thing to latch onto and make it look like this is how we're progressing. This is because it's one of the things that we're doing. I don't know. There just seems like a lot of questions here. And I know, oh my God.
I know. Rename it, man. Just rename it from Purple Rain, call it Yellow Snow, because they're peeing on it. I'm sorry, man. It's a wrap.
Well, here's the problem: is I know that Londell and Charles watch this, and I would love to get their feedback and kind of really understand exactly what it is that they.
Maybe, truthfully, being realistic and objective, maybe there's a possibility that those kind of changes can be worked in and managed in such a way that it doesn't feel as strong as it reads, and it still feels close to true. You know what I mean? Because there's a way to do it. I just don't see it. And maybe that's because I'm too far away from it or too close to the original. But I'm like, come on, guys.
I say just stick to the script. Stick to how the original screenplay was written. Just stick to it and just do a theater Broadway adaptation of it. Because every single time that they do something like this, where they want to inject the latest whatever it is, it always fails. It always fails. This is and they keep on doing this, and I get that they want to be, more have a more safe space in movies or whatever for a variety of different reasons. But we see it now with this new Star Wars movie that's coming out, that's got this new director, this female director who just went onto Dissa Media and said, my goal to make this movie is to make men uncomfortable. This is a Star Wars franchise. What are you talking about? You want to make 90% of your fan base uncomfortable making a new Star Wars movie. It's like, what are you doing? It's because of the fact that they want to, it's people just want to inject these things into there that don't necessarily need to be in there. You want to do something like that? Fine. Create your own friggin' project with your own friggin' script with an original idea, an original thought process. Don't take something that's already established as a unique unique piece of art and recraft it to meet your agenda and think that everybody that is a huge fan is going to be okay with it, because we're not. That is a bunch of shit. So I can't, it's annoying, and I'm going to be very frustrated about it. Will I probably go see it? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out, but I don't like this whole.
I admit I am not likely to go see it. I'm just going to say straight up, even though I know that curiosity is there, I am not likely to go see it. It's just a matter of how things pan out. At this moment and how I feel right now, all I can say is this.
Yes.
In fact, I want to play it. I want my own version.
Don't it make you it make me mad.
I don't know.
It make me mad.
Wake me when you're done.
There it is.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit just briefly about the Netflix documentary. I don't have any other information, but I did want to talk a little bit about the Broadway thing and just kind of, if you guys want to continue that conversation about the Prince Broadway thing, head to facebook.com/Funkatopia. And you can just go to a few posts down. You'll see where I posted it, and guys can add to the conversation, because it's been a very, very heated debate that's going on that there are people just not happy about. But I thought the thing that I really found interesting more than anything was, when I saw this crazy adaptation that was going on, about all the things that they're changing and how they're changing it to make it the way that they're making it. And that the estate was like, yes, this is awesome. This is fantastic. I'm like, I kind of feel like you didn't know the whole story before you did that quote, because you have to know that Prince fans are going to be pissed. You have to know that. There's no way you don't know that. If you knew that this were the changes that were going to be made by this playwright, there's no way that you would have gone so gung-ho in the quotes that you did, because you there's no way you could have seen the whole story. It's like, I don't know Londell that well. I've met him a few times. Same thing with Charles, but I just don't think they knew the whole story before they threw all their chips in. I don't know.
That's all. I hope not, because I just think it's a cop out. I think it's a weak, soft thing to do if you're trying to capture, and push this forward. You're not capturing the original if you change it like that. But I mean, again, you gotta do what you got to do. So let's move on.
It's all about. Let's move on. Yes. This is here's something interesting that's happening on Netflix. Not the Prince documentary, unfortunately, but or fortunately, I don't know. We'll talk about that in a second. But there is a new documentary that is going to be appearing to cover the We Are the World, aka USA for Africa, that is going to be dropping. I don't know the exact date of when it's going to be dropped, but they are doing the whole entire story of USA for Africa and the We Are the World. It's going to be done, and it's going to be happening on Netflix. And this is already happening. I guess it's very, very close to done. I can't remember the exact date on it. But what's going to be interesting is that, there's going to be a lot of background scenes and a lot of footage that has not been seen because there were so many cameras that were all around, not just for the We Are the World video, but everything that was happening backstage. I don't know if Prince will make this cut or not. He probably not, because he wasn't involved in it, but I don't know if they want to get a little bit of drama thrown in there. They can probably do the drama. But when you think about everybody that soloed in this mix, from Lionel Richie, Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, Billy Joel, Michael Jackson, Willie Nelson, Bruce Springsteen, Daryl Hall, Huey Lewis, Cyndi Lauper, Bob Dylan, Ray Charles. I mean, it's just a laundry list of all the Jacksons were in the mix doing singing, including Sheila E. as well. Bob Geldof from Pink Floyd. Bette Midler.
Time thing they did at the time.
It was very, very cool. I mean, even Dan Aykroyd was in. He was singing in the mix too, which he's actually not a bad singer. He's a great blues singer. But when you think about everybody that was involved in the We Are the World project, this is going to be really cool to kind of see some of this background. Don't expect to see any Prince stuff, because I don't think they're going to cover it. I think they're going to focus on the positivity of the event. But you never know. It's Netflix, which kind of, somebody was already asking about the Prince documentary here. And we were talking about, what's going on with that. The truth is that we don't know, but I did find out from a source that is close to the matter that one of the reasons why it's having such an issue is because the current director that's in place really wanted to do a really kind of not a negative spin on Prince, but it was kind of trying to make it more tabloid-esque. And that's one of the reasons why there's so much conflict going on, is because, they're going around trying to get quotes from people. Allegedly, they're trying to go around, get quotes from people to talk about some of the, Prince's bad sides, some of his temper tantrums, some of the, the messed up things that he's did for, whatever. And that's not what the Netflix documentary was supposed to be. And, I guess that was one of the reasons why Ava DuVernay stepped away, was because she was like, "Hey, I'm not doing this. I mean, that's not where we're going with this. And I don't have any mix in it." So that being said, we don't know if we're ever going to see this Prince Netflix documentary, but from what I understand, it was supposed to be released this year. I've been trying to keep an eye on some Netflix, releases coming in 2024, and I still have not seen it pop on the list.
We'll see.
Just still watching for it. I'm trying to not, trying to not get upset about it or get bent out of shape. But, the reality of it is that, it is what it is. There's been some really, really cool murals that I've seen done on sides of buildings. There's so many really cool Prince murals all throughout Minneapolis. I saw this one. It's not a Prince mural, but this is one of the coolest murals I think I've ever seen, which is it's a skinny building, but somebody put the side of albums in this mural, which is it's such a friggin' cool mural. Because it literally
know-
looks like albums.
You know it's a good mural when you look at it and you want to tilt your head and read it. I can't look at it without going, that is really good.
Yeah, so it's just such a cool. It's just cool the way that it's done. It's just cool the way it's done. But another cool mural that is a Prince mural is this one that was done in Phoenix by Maggie Keene. Now Maggie Keene is a very, very she's a fantastic artist. This is done in Phoenix. And what's very awesome, what's very, very awesome is that Maggie Keene got on a plane a couple days ago and flew here to Atlanta, and she is doing another Prince mural in East Point. This is in Phoenix, Arizona, by the way. This is if you want to go see this mural, this is in Phoenix, Arizona. I love the incorporation of the glasses in this one, but what's really even more awesome is that the exact same artist that did this mural is coming here to Georgia, and she's going to be working on another mural very, very similar in not similar to this one. Who knows what she's going to be doing, but we're going to get her on the show. We're going to talk a little bit about it. I'm going to reach out to her and see if we can get her on to kind of talk about some of this, but she is here in Georgia right now, and she is working on a mural in East Point, Georgia. And we're going to do everything in our power to be there for the unveiling, which is supposed to happen in February. So it's happening pretty quick. So I'm looking forward to that. This Maggie Keene, she is here in Atlanta doing a mural, and it's going to be awesome to have a cool Prince mural here in Georgia, and because we don't really have one. Do we have it? Is there a Prince mural in Georgia? I think there should be, because of the fact that this where he performed his final concert. I think there needs to be some type of cool representation, and luckily there is. There will be. East Point. And so I'm looking forward to that. We're going to reach out to her and see what we can do. All right. This is actually kind of really cool. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but yesterday marked the 39th anniversary of this album right here, Jesse Johnson's Review. If you can believe that this is friggin' this album right here, this vinyl came out in 1985, and I still got it, brother.
That's such an awesome album.
I still friggin' have it. But yes, I actually have like 3 copies of this. I have it on, I have it on CD when it was but I have it on cassette. I have it on this one, but it is the 39th anniversary of Jesse Johnson's Review, which is one of my all-time favorite albums. I don't know what it is about this album, but I just don't know what it is about that album that was so friggin' good, because it was just so solid from front to back. There's no weak songs anywhere on that album. It's just a masterpiece. But congratulations to Jesse, because hey, next year that means that next year will be the 40th anniversary of that. That would be really cool to be. Hopefully he goes back on tour again, because I haven't seen him playing with anything. I know he was touring with D'Angelo for a while, but that was years ago. I don't think he'd really done much of anything. I know he appeared on Questlove's show, on Pandora.
My favorite song was Special Love.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
She won't let go. She won't let go.
I'd say that.
That old friggin' that whole album must have been 39 years. Now, have you seen, I'm curious if anybody has seen this. I might make myself bigger so that you can kind of see this, but has anybody seen this book here, Prince in Comics? I ordered this because I can't remember who showed this to me or where I saw it on social media, but it is really cool. It's like a whole, it's got like a lot of information in here. It's got a lot of stories and a lot of books, and a lot of it, but everything is it's like telling Prince's life story in comic form, not like the comic books, like he had, which were always based on some kind of weird story or whatever. This is actually his life, and it's actually done. And it's really kind of weird. It does have bios in it. Yeah, it actually does have, stuff on Sheila and everything. I think I had a couple screenshots that I had actually done. This is actually the book, so you guys can see it, but it's prints in comics. If you guys want to purchase this, you guys can. If you go to funkatopia.com/comics, COMICS, obviously, but Funkatopia, FUNKATO. There you go. Funkatopia. Thank you for putting it in the chat room. Funkatopia.com/comics. You can actually pick this up, but it does actually have, these full page foldouts of comics, and it's really well done. It's really well illustrated. And it even has, it's got Sheila in here, Motet's in here. They kind of cover everybody. I got to pull this down. They cover, I wanted to show one more screen of this. Yeah, it's just got everything in here. This is actually from here, but this is actually got, it's got like illustrations of the entire NPG in here. So it's kind of unusual. It's just unusual. But Funkatopia.com/comics, you can actually go to the Amazon link and actually get this. The graphics are good in here. It's just really interesting book. It's very kind of cool. It's a hardcover book. I haven't got done reading it yet because work and best funk of 2023. But yeah, I've kind of just been kind of getting these modes where I just kind of like pick up stuff like Flava Flav pop. I found this in the $5 store. This was it's Flava Flav pop. I was like, I don't really want that, but it's kind of funny. So I got it. All that being said, that's crazy. Check out that Prince in Comics. It's really kind of good. If you like, comic books, and you like the story of Prince, that's definitely the one for you. It's got everything you could ever want. And the last couple of things I had to talk about were, you guys want an update on Uptown Radio, our app, our Funked Up app. I am working very, very closely with our app developer. We've been spending hours on the phone, just kind of figuring out what works, what doesn't work, what we want to do, what some of the things we want to do, some of the things that are coming in the future. For instance, like, some of the things that will be coming in future episodes or future versions of the app will be that Patreon supporters are going to be able to actually make requests on the radio station. So if you're not a Patreon supporter, you can't make requests. You just listen to what you listen to. But with Patreon supporters, you'll be able to actually make requests, and it will actually happen. So it's kind of cool because there's a lot of functionality that's built into the station that we have. But we're trying to figure out all the different stuff that kind of goes with it. But we had issues with Google Ad Mob because we need ads and stuff running on the top. Capability to kind of be able to go to the radio, to go to the Funkatopia website, like if you want to look at the list, and also be able to listen to past album chats and past shows on the app, all those things, and it just takes a lot of work. And so we're getting really, really close. Matter of fact, we're going to be putting up the first version of the app this month for both Android and iPhone. So in January, you guys should be seeing if you have the Funked Up app installed on your phone, you should be seeing an update coming through in the next couple of weeks. So get ready because it's coming. And lastly, the last thing I wanted to talk about, obviously, is New Year's resolutions. We kind of tried to skip over to that just because of the fact that we were having technical issues in some of the stuff that we were doing with the Best Funk show. But some of the things I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of that I'm kind of committing to doing, and it's just going to take some time because I just do so much that it's just a lot of people don't realize that how much stuff that I do with Funkatopia. It's just so much friggin' work. Just that Best Funk list alone was like over 50 paragraphs of content that I had to write. Over 50 paragraphs of content that I had to write.
Yeah, and never mind the amount of music you had to listen to just to get to that 20.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's just a lot. Plus, on top of that, we have the show. We have, everything that we're trying to script and trying to make sure that it's there. So that's the reason why we kind of needed that. I needed that mental health break. It's just a lot. But one of the things I want to do is that I'm going to be looking into reincorporating phone back into the show. So we want you guys to be able to listen to the show and to be able to call in to the show if you guys want to be able to talk and, ask us questions live on the air. We want to be a regular broadcast show. There's costs involved in that, but we think we have some options that we might be able to pull off. So we'd like to be able to do that. Literally, we could probably get like a regular phone and be able to do that. And be able to have a phone that's dedicated to just the show. You can get an extra phone from, T-Mobile or something it's not as expensive as holding an online phone service, but it'd be something that would be here, but we'd like to be able to I'd like to incorporate phone back into it. So that's part of the New Year's resolution, is to kind of make sure that we kind of get a phone installed back into it so you guys can call in. Are going to be more regular about the posting on Funkatopia. We know that Funkatopia is the source of, some of the stuff that we're doing here. So I'm trying to be more regular about posting on here. Also, what we're going to be doing is trying to make sure that this year that we release the Prince discography site. As many of you know, we have princediscography.com and also albumchats.com that I own, that is going to have all of the album chats that I've done for all of Prince's albums on the website. So everything will be there. You can click through songs and you can go directly to the songs and be able to hear about that song, the stories behind that song. It's just going to be cool. We got a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff that's happening with Funkatopia, and we appreciate your support. One of the reasons why we want to make sure that you please absolutely follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, definitely follow us on Facebook. Cause again, I want to get to that 100K. I want to get to 100,000 followers on Facebook for sure. Cause I feel like we've got a lot of traction with Facebook, and you guys love Facebook. So we're kind of doing that. And also, more importantly, definitely any support that you can do monetarily, because all this stuff costs money. The phone services cost money. The servers cost money. What we're doing here using StreamYard, that costs money. We've actually upgraded to the highest version of StreamYard, so you guys can watch this in 4K. All that stuff that actually comes with it. So yeah, if you just support us, one-time donations on Venmo at Funkatopia, Cash App, $ Funkatopia, and of course the best way is via Patreon at patreon.com/Funkatopia, because there's going to be stuff coming down the pike with the app that only Patreon supporters are going to be able to get. Only Patreon supporters are going to be able to make requests on the app, and we send out files all the time. It's a lot. So thank you guys all for your support. We appreciate everything, and we hope you guys enjoyed the show. It's been a few weeks already. It's been a few weeks since we've been here. But it was a good mental break. Did you get anything done when you were off?
What's that?
Did you get anything done when you were off?
No, I didn't. Well, I did. I rearranged and did some moving around of the various music studios in the house.
Yeah.
That's it.
For those I've never,
it's a lot cleaner, different behind me.
Nobody has ever been to Jeff's house here. I've been there, and he has like studios that are set up in like every single room of his house, where like the drummer has his own section downstairs, which is, it's like everything is separated out into its own little, it's like his whole house is like a studio with individual sections all this area. It's crazy.
Got some to make, man.
Yeah, and I'm also glad that you guys enjoyed Princemas. Thank you. Yeah, Arlene, thank you for mentioning Princemas, because we haven't talked to you since Princemas happened, with all the live concerts that we did during Princemas. So, yeah, it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. And there's going to be more coming in 2024, so get ready for it. It's so funny how how much we're actually doing. And I've actually toyed of doing another show too, doing another actual comment type of show, kind of like a regular type of podcast where it's not like this. We're just kind of vent about a specific topic and do like these little short, burst shows, as opposed to these long 3-hour shows.
And I do have a question for all you listeners. How many, if you guys can post in the comments or, hit us up or something at something, really, really want to know how many of you have VR headsets. How many of you have taken that dive, that plunge? Are you finally online? Are you going VR route? Because I see posts here questioning watch parties and different things. And there's a lot that we can do in VR as a family too. And I'm prepared to do it. We just need to know that we have the numbers of people that want to be there. So, let us know.
And many of you don't remember, but we did a show a couple of years ago where where Jeff has built literally a Funkatopia world
gallery.
Yeah, in VR. So you could actually. I don't know exactly I can't remember exactly how you get to it, but there's like a specific place you can go. You can go into the Funkatopia area and you can like walk around to like the different galleries and stuff and see album covers and work. We can eventually get and my daughter actually started building the Paisley Park in Minecraft. She started that, but she gave up on it. Because there was so much conflicting information about what was where as far as like the areas that aren't like, readily publicly available, whatever. But I thought it was a really cool effort that she kind of made this, but we got a lot of stuff that's going on. So we could build out that VR area for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyways, I hope you guys had a great time. We had a amazing time. Sorry for some of the technical difficulties that we started out with. We will actually make sure that we edit that video. I will edit out some of that technical difficulties because it doesn't make for good listening for sure. So I had to edit it out. But if you do want to look at that list, go to Funkatopia.com right now, Funkatopia.com, and you can see the full list and enjoy. I had a great time tonight. I'm your host, Mr. Christopher. This is Jeff Page. And we are going to tune out for the night. And thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Don't know what we'll be talking about. Maybe we'll dedicate a whole show to that craziness that is that Broadway show, but probably not. Maybe we'll try to get Maggie Keen on to kind of talk about this. Yeah. Huh?
I don't know about that. It stresses me out.
Yeah. It's this big stress. Maybe get Maggie Keen on to talk about this mural. Yeah. All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you guys for tuning in. You've been listening to Funkatopia Live. We'll tune you back to your regularly scheduled program on your radio show right over this funky little tidbit from, the one and only Michael Gabriel. A lot of people ask our intro. It's Radioactive Girl by Michael Gabriel, and he loves that we use this for his intro song. So we have his blessings. So screw off, Facebook. Good night.